All right, test 1 2 3, test 1 2 3, making sure everything is working out here, and I think we are. Okay. Hey everyone, happy Monday. Hope you guys are all having a great day here today. Loki got all excited because he heard me talking here, but he's going to get his daily treat, and we got to talk about a lot of stuff here because all of a sudden we're back down to this 20-day moving average, and that is going to cause a pretty drastic effect to Bitcoin if we do break down here, right? So let me just make sure this is moving in the right direction. I think we're good. Hey Wilder, happy to see you. Mike. I'm glad you made it in tonight. I know you said you had to work last night, so I'm happy to have you back. I'm just making sure that my streams are all up and running. I'm doing this multi-stream thing today where I have like 2 streams running, so one's vertical, one's horizontal. I was told that they finally fixed it, so basically when I stream, I'm looking like this right now. If I can show you this very fast. Looks like that. So you got this stream. We also got a vertical stream going at the same time, which is kind of interesting. So I'm gonna see how this works out and see what happens with it. Okay, so again, happy Monday. Hopefully you guys are all having a good day here. It's been a very volatile last 24 hours. When we talked about, well, we're going to talk about the FOMC and everything like that, of course, but really what happens today is going to be huge because we're either going to be having another $1,000 to $2,000 day downward, or we're going to try to bounce off of this and try to hit back up towards maybe $59,500. So regardless, you're going to see some big moves. It looks like on the 4-hour chart, Bitcoin is still bearish, and we're going to be talking about all that here. Make sure everything's fine. I'm looking over to make sure all the charts and stuff look good on the other chart as well. And hey, Kumar, happy to see you. And hey, Villaret, happy to see you as well. Again, if you guys are joining me on the vertical stream, there's a link in the comments that you can click to get onto the horizontal one. I'm trying this out because I did this same with Tom Crown a while ago, but the views were kind of funky where the algorithm for YouTube is very weird. So we were trying to figure it out, and Tom said the streams came back to normal today, so I'm going to see if it actually works out well or not. But okay, so we already know that Bitcoin's been coming down for a little bit. No big surprise there. We were trying to see if we could get a breakout. Didn't really happen. It was a, just bad play, right? So right now we're trying to see if we can actually bounce off of the 20-day moving average. Like we talked about before, this is just going to be a little bit more dangerous over time if you guys aren't used to trading, and that's just because we have to contend with this 20-day moving average. We're either going to try to pop back above and hit either 59,288 or back up here towards $60,000 for that resistance today. I'd say more realistically, if we have a pop, it'd be a huge battle to get back up to even 59,000, because again, if we have an engulfing candle right here, we might just have we might go from here to here, and that could form some type of double top, right? But on the other side here, if we're not careful, you're going to see Bitcoin start to come back down here to the mid 50s. I might call it somewhere between 57 to 56,000. Right now, we're kind of hovering on 58. So about a $1,000 to $2,000 bad day is ahead if we can't hold this level of support. We saw a little bit of that today. If you guys go over here to the 15-minute chart, you'll see we tried to bounce off it originally, and then we got pushed back down. I think if I actually pull up the 20, let me go over here. Let's make this into a 20. And then let's make this into the daily chart. And you can see it right. Oop. Oh, actually, we didn't bounce above it right here. Actually, get rid of this little line right here as well. We're kind of bouncing off of it right now on the 30-minute. Which time frame is it really bouncing off of? 4-hour time frame. Okay. Yeah, the 4 hours is what we're bouncing off of. And it's trying, but you could already see that momentum is still bringing us down. I think it's going to be fun for a lot of scalpers in here to see if they can buy that dip here, and we can ride that wave to breaking above 58,700s. All right, let me back this up a little bit more though, because I want to take off the SMA here. There we go. Okay. And pay attention to this. Now, while Bitcoin is going to be the main story here for a while, you guys already know the FOMC, what's going on with it. I'll be breaking out, breaking down, yada, yada, yada. There is one thing here that I'm going to be watching very, very closely. And if you guys have been watching Benjamin Cohen or anything like that, you know he's been talking about the Bitcoin to Ethereum, Bitcoin dominance playing out. And right now, Ethereum is still very, very low. Let me just go to the weekly chart to show it to you guys. Ethereum is very, very close to the support level here. While Bitcoin overall is actually doing okay in my book, Ethereum is in big danger of breaking back down below 2100, which could really bring it back down towards the 1700s to 1750s level. That'd be a spooky moment, scary moment, for a lot of people out there, because that means Ethereum would be going down another 20%, which again, according to this weekly chart, we've already been here before. Look at these 2 weeks right here, or even 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, it fell down 40%. Now it rebounded back up quite a bit, but it's definitely possible with Ethereum. So I want you guys to understand that. And that's why I'm hoping we can bounce, because if we don't, you are going to see a very aggressive move over the next few weeks. It's not going to happen all at once. Over the next few weeks of us probably heading back down here towards 1700. While that's going on, you may just see Bitcoin heading back down here to the 50,000. And that's again if we have something of a surprise with the FOMC cut, which I don't really expect. But just keep an eye on there for Ethereum, because that is going to be the wild card here. For now, I actually do want to get rid of some of these old technicals here. I don't know why this is still in there. I keep on deleting it, but it keeps on coming back. There we are. But really, guys, this 4-hour chart is telling me everything I pretty much need to know. Are we going to be able to bounce off of some of these support levels, these order blocks, and go higher? Or is this something more of another higher low here where we get knocked back down and we start heading back down here to $55,000, $56,000? Now let me go back over here very fast. That's kind of the goal for the next 24 hours. Now, again, it's coming up soon. Let me go over here to CNBC. I know they're going to have an article about it somewhere. Intel stock jumps on a plan to turn foundry business a subsidiary. Oh, interesting. Amazon tells businesses to come into office 5 days a week. That's crazy. Boeing freezes hiring and sweeping cost cuts as it grapples with factory worker strike. Yeah, it's big up here. Where is it? I don't see anything about the Fed here, which is interesting. Well, if I go over here to business investing markets, there's no way they don't. Financial advisors. Really? There's nothing about the Fed right here. Okay, well, there we go. The Fed cuts. News. We can go with the Washington State Journal, or the Wall Street Journal. Excuse me. There we go. Fed enters tricky terrain, rate cuts in a decent economy. That's what we're looking for here. We don't need to go into the whole story here, but this is kind of the thing we've been talking about all week. We're doing rate cuts, but it's in a decent economy. Typically, when we go back in time, and let's go over to maybe the SPY or something. Let's go to the monthly chart. And we can get out of this for now. Typically, when we have rate cuts like we did back over here in COVID, 2018. Geez, it's been a while since 2008, hasn't it? Over here, 2008. Over here during the dot-com bubble. Typically when we lower these rates, something really bad is happening with the economy. The last time we had a rate cut and the economy wasn't doing so bad, remember when that was? This was back during, I think, the Trump administration. It was before COVID. It was right over here. Jerome Powell started to raise rates, and then he panicked because the market started to freak out about it. And then he started to cut rates accordingly. I think we might see something similar to that, where maybe we have something of a shorter term dip here, and then boom, we start to go back up. And again, if we didn't have COVID, I think the market would have been just fine, you know? And so I want to show you guys this here. If I go to, let's go to trading economics, I guess. Fed rates. There we go. And let's go over to the let's just go to max. You guys see this little thing up here where we go to 2018? I'm going to zoom in here. 2017, 2018. You see how we stopped in 2019 and we were cutting in August of 2019? This was before COVID. People don't think about it too much because they kind of just include the whole thing as a COVID drop. But no, this was in August of 2019, well before we had that move. So let me zoom in here a little bit more. August. That was, wait, let me make sure. No, I'm 1 year. There you go. August 2019 right here. We had our dip, and then we kept on rallying up. Now, unfortunately for us, we had COVID and whatnot, but while the market was freaking out about rates, when it actually came down to it, you know, how would I say this? There's a way that the Fed cuts rates. They don't just all of a sudden say, hey, we're cutting rates. They say, hey, we're no longer going to be cutting, we're no longer going to be raising rates. That kind of brings you up. And then they say, hey, we're going to start cutting rates pretty soon. Then they start cutting rates, and then you see how we go up. So if I can put that into a little bit of a better example for you guys. They stopped cutting rates in December and January of 2019. December 2018, let's just say that. December 2018 was right here. This was the last one. That's the last cut they did. They stopped. And you can see right after that little bit of hustle, everything was kind of going fine. We have the rate cut. We kept on going up. And again, COVID was there. This is really one of the only examples we have where we cut the rates in an okay economy. And well, this was probably even a good economy. Remember, the pre-COVID economy was actually pretty bustling. We had these tax cuts going on. I think they redid the tax code at that time too. You know, we were doing a bunch of tariffs and shit against China and that type of stuff. And we did like a whole new trade deal with Canada and Mexico. There was a ton of shit going on during those years. And however, when we actually did have the rate cut, it wasn't actually bad. So I'm using that as kind of my mindset to say, hey, I think after the rate cut, sure, this month may be a little bit wonky, but going into like, you know, October, November, December, I really am hoping for more bullish action here because the economy is still good. That's kind of my tidbit for today. I wanted to show you guys that data there because everybody keeps on talking about rate cuts in terms of 2008 or COVID. And, you know, there was some shit going on during both of those rate cut environments. Housing crisis, where there was a whole bunch of over-leveraged companies in the real estate business. And then, of course, you know, mortgage-backed securities. If you guys haven't watched The Big Short, watch that type of stuff, or Margin Call. Margin Call is personally one of my favorite movies. Or you guys can, you know, think about COVID, which, you know, it was COVID. I mean, we all know that. It's all pretty recent in our memories for the most part. That's kind of what's going on here. So I'm thinking we're kind of in this middle spot where we can cut, especially for Bitcoin. And this is Bitcoin's monthly chart. Maybe things end up bad, but we can still get back on track here, right? I would say Bitcoin might look a little bit more robust because you can see that Bitcoin typically has really bad months and really good months. I think it'll be a little bit more volatile, but I do think starting in October, we can really have some good moves here. And, you know, in the shorter time frame, you know, for this week and next week and the next, you know, 30 days or so, not even 30 days, the real goal for us, there we go. The real goal for us is simply just to break out of this smaller trend line here and start popping back up. That's the only thing we have to worry about. Don't even think about 80,000. Don't even think about, excuse me, $75,000. Just think about what happens when we break out here. To me, this is the start of something really great, especially with rate cuts. And even back then, you saw the market kind of took a little bit of time to get back up. That was with a rate cut of about, we went from 2.5 to 2.25. That was with a 0.25% rate cut. I still think we should be good. And I'm going against the grain here by saying this because a lot of other creators out there, they're all kind of expecting a massive, just a really bad move to come. And I'm not saying we can't have something more of a small term, like just drop down. But I think as we kind of look from month to month to month, I still think we're looking pretty good here. I just, you know, we paused over here in November, December, we paused again, right? They brought rates down to 1.75 and they let it sit. Then, you know, then COVID came. You know, that's what happened there. But yeah, so that's kind of what's on my mind today, what I'm thinking about. I spent a lot of time with Loki today, so I pretty much was on my phone most of it, or just playing fetch with him. Momentum is still okay on the daily charts. It's kind of turning off a little bit, but you know, I'm hoping for a bounce and then a rip. 12-hour, we're turning bearish. I'm not really excited about that. The 4-hour is still very bearish, and like I said before, if I see the 4-hour turnarounds here before we get the daily turning bearish, I might actually buy in here for something more of a day trade. Because the last time we did a trade, it was basically from, no, it's 11 Saturday. Was it live Saturday? Maybe. No, it was live Sunday. We bought somewhere over here, and I ended up selling somewhere over here for a small profit. I shared it with you guys yesterday. I don't remember. And we barely broke even. Am I logged into this? Let's say I am logged in. Oh, that's a spot market. Oh yeah, our CKB position. I told you guys I wanted to short this down. It's up around 50%. It was up so much more this morning, and then I didn't sell it. Because again, I just have my stop loss on my target price way down here. So I'm hoping we can see that move occur. So we were up about 9%, and that's 9 times the 10, so we were up 90%. But The market's going to be fun here. You can actually see it dipping down a little bit. But anyway, let me go over here to order history, position history. There we go. Yeah, we only walked away with $70 profit, so it wasn't too good of a trade. But I'm hoping we can do something good here. But I'm still waiting on that 4-hour chart here. And that 4-hour chart, even though we're doing okay right now, look at this 15-minute chart. It's not the 4-hour chart, so I'm being a little bit more skeptical here. And hey, Rebecca, happy to see my man. Give us the tea, my man. Oh, I thought you said, are you making tea? And I'm like, no, I don't have tea. I have handy dandy French press coffee here today. It's actually the second pot, so it's going to be a little bit lighter, thank God. But, I mean, it's like 5 o'clock my time. I might be up all night with this type of stuff here. All right. So that's kind of the gist of what's going on Bitcoin today, everybody. If you guys have any specific questions, let me know. I'm a little bit tired because I slept in for some reason today, and you know when you get too much sleep, you're even more drowsy than normal. I think it's something to do with that. Now, as far as everything else, let me get out of this. Let me get out of this and this and this. The futures are okay for tomorrow. Not looking crazy bad or good, just kind of okay. But coinmarketcap.com. And hey, Shinzo, if you want to see the vertical or the horizontal stream, it's over in the... Look at the comments. Look at the comments. We've got student loan debt repayment coming back September 30th. Everyone has to begin repayments. Oh, yeah, that's going to be interesting as well. I mean, that's a lot of money just leaving the economy. And on top of everything here, guys, you know, during the election season, a bunch of people are going to be scared with whoever wins. So you might see a little bit of a contraction if people aren't spending money because Donald Trump's reelected. You know, if Donald Trump's elected, you see Democrats saying that they're like, what do they say? Like democracy is going to end, yada, yada, yada. So if democracy ends, you might not want to be spending so much money, you know, if Trump wins. Vice versa, if Kamala wins, everybody may say the economy is going to go into a full-blown recession, immigration is going to get out of control even more than it is, and conservatives might say, hey, I'm not going to spend as much money. And that could also have different effects on the economy. What we've also been seeing here, especially with today with Amazon, is Amazon's been saying, hey, you guys need to start coming back to work. And again, Amazon's a big company out here in Seattle, where I'm at. And if you're not, if you don't comply, they will lay you off in a heartbeat. You are replaceable at Amazon. Like 95% of all Amazon employees are very replaceable. Like 100% of everybody that works at a warehouse is replaceable. But in corporate, it's like 95%. So yeah, it is going to be pretty interesting. Let me pour myself a cup of coffee here just so I can keep going. I've been trying to slow down my speaking because I've been speaking too fast and I have not had good luck at it, but maybe today is the day. All right, so last 24 hours, Bitcoin is down about 1% here. I mean, it's not bad, right? It's not really bad if you think about it. It was pretty violent throughout the day, but we're kind of bouncing back up. Go over to the daily chart. You know, we're basically back to where we were, maybe you can say Thursday or part of Friday. We've lost a few days worth of momentum, and I'm okay with that right now because honestly, we were looking pretty grim back over here at the beginning of the month, like really grim. And now we're kind of like, hey, we're closer to a breakout than a breakdown. I'll take that at this point. However, there are still some things moving up, not as much as yesterday. Popcat's still up a little bit. I'm keeping track of that. XRP is up. Some of you guys mentioned this to me yesterday, and Phantom is up. Excuse me. I still say there's some good things to trade. Not as much as yesterday. I think right now people are just a little bit worried because we're getting into that crucial time when we're going to have Jerome Powell coming out. And I'm going to be streaming quite a bit tomorrow. I'm thinking of going live around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. The announcement comes out 11 o'clock my time, so I'd be pretty much talking 3 to 4 hours. 8, 9, 10. Yes, okay, yeah. About 3 to 2 hours, excuse me. 3 to 2 hours before the announcement comes out. And then what would happen is after that, we would talk for a little bit longer than the stream would be over for the day. And that'd be my entire day of streaming. One more last thing here before we start going into all these other tokens. I think for tomorrow, we're going to try to do some day trading around the announcement. And we're going to try to get on the right side of it. I'm not entirely sure how the market would react from a 25 basis point cut compared to a 50. my mind is telling me that maybe all the Wall Street guys are correct, that if we do have a 50 basis point cut, the market will tank or something. But I think I'm gonna try to go long a few hours before the announcement comes out. And I think if we start to pop ahead of the announcement, I'm gonna scale out part of it, and then I'm just gonna ride the wave to see what happens afterward by moving my stop loss up to, you know, probably where I bought my opening price, and then I can at least walk away with some profit there afterwards. So that's going to be something we're doing over the last few days. You know, I've been showing you guys JumpX, and if you guys are looking for a new exchange, of course, check out JumpX. They're pretty good here. We started off with, oh, you guys can't see my assets, they're hidden away. Well, we started off with $20,000, and right now we've kind of built it up to $22,538.96. So over the last couple weeks, we've kind of made about 2,500 bucks basically. And I'm hoping we can kind of extend that a little bit tomorrow. It'll basically be us on a 15-minute chart here, and we're going to be trying to do a lot of these small momentum trades, basically looking at what that 1 hour chart is doing, then doing some scalps, and then having one larger Bitcoin trade just going long, and then we're going to be waiting for that move. Now, again, I'll sign out tomorrow, Wednesday. We have a couple days until this happens, but that's going to be kind of fun on my part. I'm going to trade some Bitcoin, of course, but you know, I think we're going to have one large Bitcoin trade. There's going to be a lot of tokens out here. If you guys didn't know, I've been talking to them about getting more tokens, and so now you can see how many more tokens they have here. I've been railing on them to put more tokens, so they finally did it. So now we can actually do a lot more trading on here besides Bitcoin. They even have something called Banana, and I don't even know what Banana token is. However, I like having more tokens because you can go and see, hey, Turbo's up a lot today. Maybe I might want to day trade Turbo. Those type of things. Even look at it right now. Turbo is going freaking insane. So I like those options. Things like Zero, just doing okay right now, but still had a pop. We're going to be looking at those quite a bit here, and I'm hoping I can do a lot more day trading on this with you guys as well. So there we go. Plant explosion in La Porta, Texas. Geez, oh, that means oil prices may go up. Did oil prices go up today? Not really. They're kind of flat, but I guess, did we start a new day here? Yeah, we started a new day. So basically, the oil explosion probably caused this little bit of a bump earlier this morning here. Let me go over to oil, Texas. I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere. News. There we go. Oil pipeline explosion in Houston, Texas forces evacuations. Evacuations? Oh shit, yeah, there's houses right there. Maybe you guys can't see this all too well. Whoa, 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 get out of here. Get out of here, stuff. See those houses? Yeah, there's houses right there. Oh my God. Why would you live so close? I would never want to live that close. I would never want to live that close to oil. Oh my God. Like if it was on my ranch or something like that, I can kind of understand it. But then I could afford, you know, if you have oil on your land, you could afford to kind of move a couple acres over. That is absolutely wild to me that they have oil that close to the houses. All right. Maybe my oil stocks will pop up. I'm still like pretty heavily involved in oil. I think I need to scale out even more here though. And maybe if there is this issue and it does mess up supply, perhaps I can get a better price for some of my assets here. Now let's head to Stochastic and the RSI. If you guys have any questions about tokens or anything, let me know. I'm going to be looking at a lot of that stuff today. Everything is really reliant on Bitcoin this week a little bit more than normal, and that's just because of the FOMC. We're all waiting for that rate cut. Let me pull this up just one more time so we can have it in the background. Fed rate. There you go. There we go. Yeah, we're just basically waiting from to go 5.5 back to 5.25. That's all we're really looking for. I'm hoping we go from 5.5, excuse me, to 5. That's the move I'm hoping for. 5 years, 10 years. You can see what we've been doing. I'd love to see the move down. I would love to see that move come down here. I think it'll be a game changer for us. But yep, oil prices might be going up over the next few days. And hey, I'm happy to see your solid horizontal for me, Milk. Oh yeah, don't worry. So if you guys are looking, let me just show you guys this very fast. If you guys are looking at my streams here, you're going to see two different streams. It's not going to show one. So like if you guys are on the same stream, one person isn't going to get this one. The other one's not going to, get that one. If I go over here to my channel and I go to live, you see this one right here? There's one right there and there's one right here. This is the vertical one. This is the horizontal one. most people see me on the vertical one, then transfer over to the horizontal one, and that's perfectly fine. Then you have the other ones over here, like the 24-hour streams and stuff like that. But yeah, so you guys should see it. Like once you guys see it, you can always rotate over. Feel the heat. Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy hot over there, Villaret. You found it? Okay, good. There we go. Let's see. Hey man, I have $20 on my bank account. Partially it's for a new bathroom, but some of it's for my garden. Fremnik. I already bought a new car today. Is it smart to put almost 25% into crypto? I would only put as much money in crypto as you feel comfortable with. Usually less is fine. I don't think you need to go all out into cryptocurrency to make a bunch of money fast or something like that. Typically, I would say whatever you're comfortable with losing. And then if you're not a trader, what you would do is you would just park that money in Bitcoin and you would just hold it. That's the easiest way to make sure you make a profit. If you panic and sell because Bitcoin's going down, if you're that type of individual, don't buy Bitcoin just yet because you might not have the stomach for it. And you know, I know people that if Bitcoin goes down like 20-30% in a couple of months, they don't really care because they're holding it for the long term. There are some people who say they're holding it for the long term, but if Bitcoin goes down 10, 15, 20%, they sell and they panic and they go, uh-oh, you know, and then Bitcoin goes back up eventually, like, oh man, I gotta, you know, buy it for a higher price and I sold it, so they have less Bitcoin overall. If you are gonna put money into the market, usually the best thing you can do is just to park it in Bitcoin and just leave it alone and watch the market go up and down every now and again, wait for some of those big moves. And then when you feel like you've made enough money, like Bitcoin's at $100,000, 120, 150, you know, some of the CNBC experts think it's going to go from 150 to 300,000 this cycle. We'll know what happens in a couple, you know, in a few months or whatever, but you can sell around that time and you can sell a little bit of your Bitcoin off at a time. You can sell all of it at once. You have that option. But you have to be prepared for some volatility, and that volatility is very stressful if you are not used to the crypto markets, right? Especially if you can see your money going down. Weekly start down, maybe a reverse. I mean, at this point here, all I'm looking for is, can Bitcoin break out? This momentum is still bearish, of course, but I am hoping that we can actually start going back up here to around $62,000. On the daily chart, momentum is still on our side. Now, again, is daily chart more impressive than the weekly chart? No, but we still have an opportunity. And I'm hoping that we can have this reversal to bring us back up here. Momentum can have us break out. We're going to eventually have a golden cross over here towards the end of the month. And that's, you know, perhaps the breakout coincides with the rate cut happening on Wednesday. That's what I'm hoping for. Now, again, I'm not going to say this too many more times, I promise, because it's the same thing I keep on saying. Momentum on the 4-hour chart is still bearish, so we could see ourselves coming back down here to around $57,000 to $56,500 by the end of today, and it'd be a pretty long candle. Usually when we run into these 20-day moving averages, it's a long candle, long candle, long candle. Oh, that was long candle off a bounce. Candle, larger candle over here. It's not, you know, it's not great, right? So, or it can be great, it's just a lot of volatility. Right now, because of the 4-hour chart, I'm still a little bit more iffy on this. You can see momentum is coming back up a little bit on the 4-hour, but it's not enough for me to buy. I think for now, I just kind of want to wait and see, because I think the opportune time to buy, when you're going to know if it's going to pop or not, is probably going to be early in the morning, actually, which is going to be a little bit more annoying for us to like to sleep. But yeah, it's going to happen sometime in the early morning. If I was to place a bet, I'd probably be short right now. But it would only be a small position, because this is going to be a pretty big trade here, or a pretty volatile trade. Let me go over here and open up Market Cipher and see what that Market Cipher B is telling me. Daily chart. So Market Cipher just gave a bearish signal yesterday. You know, a couple days after that rejection there. The 12-hour chart has a bearish signal again, yeah, yesterday. The 4-hour is still bearish here. It was, yes, bearish back over here. So yeah, everything's still pointing towards a little bit more downside here. Money flow is still good, which is kind of nice. But you know, it's just not the proper setup to buy unless you're going purely for a support buy, where you want to buy this support and try to sell back up here towards maybe 59,000, kind of doing something more of a scalp play. But that's not the type of play we're talking about. We're hoping to get up here to, you know, for step 1, breakout for step 2. That's kind of the goal here. Let me take a sip of coffee very fast. Oh, also, did you guys see Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? You guys see Baby Doge today? Doing some crazy shit. That's Baby Doge today. I don't know what set this off, but I own some. With this move, I think I'm slightly profitable. That's how far my Baby Doge has gone down over the over the months. You know what? The second, I steeped this coffee twice, not like I steeped tea. Doesn't taste good as the first batch of coffee, but this, it kind of tastes like watered down coffee almost. It reminds me of the coffee when I was a kid and I used to go to Old Country Buffet after church. I didn't know Old Country Buffet had watered down coffee. Interesting. Maybe I just drink really strong coffee. That could be it. But Baby Dogecoin over here, guys, has just had a crazy day. So if you guys are looking to short something or have some fun with something, this could be it. This is a very small market cap token. Look at the weekly chart. I mean, yeah, look at that. Just going parabolic. When I saw this going up, I rushed over to Dogecoin to see if Dogecoin was doing anything, and it wasn't. So I was really disappointed actually when I saw this. But right now, I'm waiting to see if we're going to get rejected from this order block because I would love to short this back down. I would absolutely love to short this back down. But right now, I think I need to see if it does anything crazy today. Just like we're shorting down this CKB one. Well, I don't have it open anymore because it was rallying so high. I'm hoping to do the same there. But Baby Doge is a little bit more difficult to find on exchanges actually. So that may be something too. And hey, first name, it's been a while. Great to see you online. Thanks for all the help you give everyone. You're welcome. Oh, you are awesome. Thank you. You are welcome. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. First name. What brokerage platform do you use for crypto? So there's a bunch that I use. It kind of depends on what you're looking for. Right now, I'm using JumpX a lot more just because they're giving me some discounts. They also sponsor the channel. And I worked out a good deal with them basically. So if you guys use JumpX and I don't know how many tokens you like to trade, let me move this over for you very fast. There you go. If you like to trade a lot with leverage, it's nice. But primarily, basically, every time you trade, let's say you rack up $100 in fees at the end of the day because you're doing a bunch of day trading with leverage, you get 10% of that back every day. So if you have $100 in fees, you're gonna see $10 pop up into your spot account basically every single day, which is nice. Which, you know, that's why I like actually using JumpX right now. I save a little bit of money. There we go. And let me move this back over here a little bit more. There we go. All right. But yeah, JumpX is good. There's also Weeks. Weeks has a little bit more lower, like really low market cap tokens, which are a lot more risky, but in my opinion, pretty fun. But those are what you might call gambles and not so much like, you know, true day trading, if you will. But I mean, heck, if you're making money, you're making money. And hey, Villa, happy to see you move over to the other stream. Binance listing, what? Oh, is that what it is? Okay, Baby Doge was listed on Binance. Thanks, guys. That makes sense. Is this the announcement on Wednesday, not tomorrow? Yeah, the announcement's on Wednesday. 25 is not enough to correct course, but 50 or more signals something is wrong. Exactly. But what do you call it? I am still hoping. I am still hoping for 50. And, sorry, am I getting a message? Fine, okay. So, since my sister's not in the house anymore, I'm always waiting to see, like, is she texting me there's something wrong going on? And every now, well, she's been calling me, so it's good. But, you know, when you miss my sister a little bit. Let me go over here and search my history very fast. There was a page we saw. I think it was the CME, but I don't recall exactly what it was. So we streamed late last night. So let me go back over here. Hong Kong, Chicago deficits. There we go. This is it. Looked at it at 9:21. There we go. So this is the current rate target. This is the CME group Fed Watch. And you can see there's a day left, 17 hours, 25 minutes, and 8 seconds. These are the odds of what all the Wall Street guys basically are thinking about. Is it going to be good odds or bad odds, you know, for 25 basis point cut versus a 50? And something interesting has happened. More people are expecting a 50 basis point cut right now and less are expecting the actual 25 that the whole media is talking about. And that is, again, to me, that is absolutely insane. Because again, you go back over here, I know some of you guys can't see it, but a month ago, it was flipped. A month ago, this was 75 and this was 25. And you can see how they have reversed now. You go over here to the 7th of November, right? Everybody's expecting at least a 25% cut or 50. Like if you're expecting a 25 point cut this month and another 25 point next month, that would get you right here basically. Then if you're expecting 50 this month and then another 25 next in November, you'd be over here, right? So I think I'll just show you guys just the probabilities here. Again, I know it's going to be kind of hard, so I'm just going to move this right over and scroll this over a little bit more. There you go. So what we're looking at here right now, 62% of people in this, probability, they're expecting us to have a 50 basis point cut by November 7th. 50% say we're going to be at 450 to 475. Coming over here to the 18th of December, 44% say we're going to be at 400 to 425. It's moving quite rapidly. But the good thing is when we do actually have the Fed meeting on Wednesday, we are going to have the dot plot. So we're going to see what all the Fed officials think, how many more they think, and when they're going to be happening. That should give us an understanding of how worried they are or how confident they are that the economy is holding up and that we don't need really that many rate cuts and stuff like that. Just because the CME says 50, that does not mean it's going to be 50. If I go on CNBC, I go on Fox Business, I go on Bloomberg, they're all going to be saying everybody needs to have a 25 for the most part, and you have a few outliers saying 50. But every time you see somebody say 50, you basically see the CNBC talking head people start talking like, like they start questioning them they start going after them a little bit, saying, hey, do we really need 50, yada, yada, yada. So I'm watching it closely. It's been interesting to see the market kind of like, that probabilities page start to move closer to me, because I really don't know what the reaction would be. Would it really symbolize the Fed being worried, or would it really symbolize a bad signal? That's what I'm having issues with, because I don't think it would. But, again, it's I could totally be wrong. I have not much confidence in what I'm saying about that. It's just that I think the economy overall is good, and then we have earnings coming up fairly soon as well. We should be able to dig ourselves out of any bad hole that may come across, and if the market does well with a 50 basis point cut, then I think they could do a 25 in November and be okay, or even another 50 if they wanted to. But we just have to keep watching the data come in every week. Trump is talking about crypto live now on X. Oh yeah, we can listen to that. Actually, let me turn off my hip hop music, and then let's go over here to Twitter. I totally forgot about that, actually. It's because that website looked so bad, but I think the website was a scam. Let's see what's going on here. Let me make sure my audio is still working. And then, is it just Trump? Is it on Trump's page here? Oh, here it is. Yeah, live from Mar-a-Lago. Start listening.
Were the NFTs a big part of the story, of your story, of how you came to see the value in digital assets?
A little bit, because so many people paid this way. If they would have been paying in dollars, I would have said, that's standard. I would have assumed. And I was blown away. I wasn't overly interested in it, to be honest, but I did ask, what percentage was taken between Bitcoin and all of the other things, but through crypto, and it was a massive majority, and I was a little surprised by that. And that was a while ago now, and it opened my eyes. But I think my children opened my eyes more than anything else. Wow. And plus, I have a friend on my right who's a very smart guy, and he's not quite as young as his fantastic son, who we're dealing with, Alex, and all of them. But he knows a lot about this stuff for a man of his age. He's still pretty young, but for a man of his age, Steve Witkoff knows a lot about this.
So this is an announcement for Donald Trump's new crypto venture. If you guys didn't know, I'll let the audio play though.
Hang tight. I have one more question for Mr. President, and then we're going to be joined by Don Jr., Eric Trump, and the World Liberty financial teams, and Corey and everybody, the advisors around it. So we have quite the programming for you. But Mr. President, one last question
World
that
Liberty
you
Financial
may or may not have answered with your last answer here is: so if there was one thing,
it might break above 100,000 followers today.
What was it?
If it was what?
One thing that got you to see crypto differently. What was it?
Well, maybe the NFT.
Votes.
You know, you sort of brought that up because I was surprised again at the percentage of them that were sold through that.
Hey, Tony.
Through that form.
Hey, Nico.
A new form of currency. You could call it anything you want, but that was. I think it was also the level of enthusiasm that my young sons have for this. You know, pretty young guys. I mean, one's extremely young and two are pretty young, right? But the level of enthusiasm they have for crypto.
Yeah.
And also just to add a third element, I have a lot of friends, very smart people, some very smart people, and they're believers. So it means something to me.
Well, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. Everybody hang tight, please. I will go to Mr. Witkoff in a second, and we'll be joining by the next set of guests. But Mr. President, it's an honor. Thank you for having me. And honestly, the fact that you've done this the day after a second assassination attempt means the world to me. Just a little 30-year-old.
I forgot he was almost assassinated again.
Started from just hosting.
I thought they might have canceled this.
Hosting yourself. So thank you for allowing me to do so.
Great job. Great job. Thank you very much.
Everybody hang tight. We'll be right back.
Okay, so this looks like they're taking a little bit of a break here. Bitcoin is going down after all this, but I'm assuming they just started a little bit ago. It looks like they still have more speakers to come. I see Donald Trump is there. I see the World Financial is there. Both of Donald Trump's sons are there. Alex something is there. I don't know who this guy is. Alexander Witkoff. He's the co-CEO of Witkoff Group, and then I guess he must have a stake in it. Corey Kaplan, Ethereum, he's also in here. So, yeah, he's an advisor to it, it looks like. So, gonna be a lot of people speaking, I'm assuming. I really just care about Trump. Oh my God, they got Baron Trump in here. Baron X Spaces. Yeah, interesting. So, they got Baron Trump in here too. So, Baron's joining the family business, gonna get himself some money out of all this as well. And we're gonna see what they have to offer. And hey, Bill, Showtime, happy to see my man. And hey, Marin, think bull market starting soon? I would say if it's going to start, it should start up sometime in October. Right now, we just have a few hiccups as far as getting momentum back on our side. So we need to have a pop and try to get back up to the mid-60s at least. That would really get things going, and that's how we really bring up all those longer-term momentum. Oscillators like the MACD, Stochastic, and RSI, those will come back to our side once that happens, and then I get more confident about a bull market starting back up. But until then, Bitcoin's still bearish in my eyes, so I'm just using this as a time to accumulate, more Bitcoin, more Ethereum, more Solana, and then once we're kind of done with all that, this malaise, this sideways bull crap, you know what I mean? Then we can start going better. But until that we have that turnaround, I'm still going to be a little bit more bearish on everything than I am bullish. And hey, Swag Taker, you got a new name, I think, but I know that picture anywhere. 25 in December for the Santa rally. Then we need 50, but we're gonna get. Will we get 50? Most likely not. I'm really hoping we get it. Man, you guys have no idea how much I really want to get a 50 basis point cut. Oh, they might be back here.
And we are back. Over here. That was quite a great interview with President Trump, wasn't it, everyone? Yeah. There you go. We got this room packed with people. Everybody's still here. Hang tight. Don't leave. Keep sharing. I want to see those retweets because the State of the Crypto address at Mar-a-Lago is still on over here. I have Steve Witkoff on my right who has to run, to Fox, right? Fox. Is that where you're headed next, Hannity? All right. I got the opener for Hannity. That's pretty cool. That's not bad, right? That's like opening for Led Zeppelin or something. I don't know. So Steve, I'm just gonna go chat with you real quick, and then we'll get to our other guests. First and foremost, you were with President Trump yesterday on the golf course. Yeah. As he was trying to sink that last putt, as President Trump was saying. But
hey, American Crypto, yeah, World Financial, or World Liberty, yeah.
That I was out there because I got to see what he has to live his daily life like.
2 assassination attempts in the last 2 months. He's been conspired against. He's been vilified. He ought to be commended for his 4 years of public service as a president. And I was glad I could be out there and see what it was about for him. He was as courageous a man as he is as courageous a man as I've ever seen. He cared about his friends first. He asked about his friends first. And it was inspiring to watch him.
Yeah, thank you for
And the Secret Service, I would echo what he said.
Right.
They were incredible. They put their lives on the line for him.
Wow. It's incredible that he's just back up today and just
it's who he is. He's resilient. He's stoic. And who wouldn't want those qualities in a leader? He is a natural born leader.
So to go back now to what we're here to talk about, and we're going to get into the weeds of it a little more. So how did this collaboration happen? I know it's an incredible story. Could you walk me through it?
My son introduced me to 2 partners, Chase Hero and Zach Folkman, who are exceptionally bright people. They look a little different than us because they dress a little different than us because that's the crypto
A few more
world.
tattoos.
Right? I have 1 or 2 tattoos, but
Chase, really?
Chase has, yeah, I have it's hard to see here.
That's okay.
But I have a tattoo of my son who I lost, Andrew. Both of my tattoos are of him. I actually think he's the one who put me out with the president yesterday, so I could witness his courage and talk about him to the American public. But I was introduced to Chase and to Zach, and I met traders from all over the world. And these guys are as smart as any currency traders I've ever met. And they began talking to me about decentralized finance, which means frictionless finance, and why it made sense for people, and about the forgotten who can't get credit out there. Credit is what drives the American economy. And as I began to understand it, I said, who would understand this better than the Trump family? And so we had a meeting initially with Eric, Don Jr., and the president and his council. And we said, let's go pursue it. We've been on it for close to 9 months, spent a lot of time on diligence with really, really good lawyers on how to operate in the space.
Right.
And here we are today, the culmination of a pretty robust effort.
So do you think that this could really change the way wealth is created in America?
I think decentralized finance is the way of the future.
Right.
If you think about the fact that if you want to borrow money today, you have to be almost anointed. You have to be a member of the privileged class. I remember when I left law, I represented the president. I wanted to be in business. It was very, very hard to get credit. And credit, again, is what drives us. Crypto allows it to happen. Decentralized finance as an application of crypto allows it to happen. So, and we see, as a business venture, a huge approachable class of people who have been either debanked, as you talked about, or they don't have a bank that they can go to, and they don't have a bank that will listen to them. And so we look at it as a business venture, and we say we can democratize it. We can be more egalitarian about it. And at the same time, we can probably do very well in it because there is a large group of people who can't gain credit in the system. And isn't that unfortunate that young people with great ideas, they can't prosecute those ideas? That's a terrible thing. That's not a good thing. That's not the American dream.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Witkoff, for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And so up next, of course, I mean, Don Jr., if you want to, however you guys want to set up here, we got a whole programming for y'all here. So really hang tight. We're filming the whole thing. Everything's going to be broadcasted live a little later on video as well. Everybody's looking great over here.
That's most important, right? As long as we look good. I mean, I'm liking your hair, the flow.
Thank you.
It's pretty solid.
There was some
Bitcoin's moving during this talk.
On, like, who's got
it's moving down.
Hair, would it be President Trump or myself? I think your father has an incredible flow. I have to give it to him.
as a Trump who may or may not one day inherit the Trump hair genes, I don't make fun. I don't mock it because you never know. One day I could wait. So far I'm 46. I'm doing pretty good on the hair department.
No way.
I'm an old man.
There's no chance.
Yeah, look at that white in the beard. Still haven't had the white in the hair, and I'm not vain enough to dye it. So we're good so far.
Well, you're gonna have to share your secrets with us maybe after the stream, because I'm getting old. My knees are hurting from being 30 years old.
Yeah, it's rough.
I'm right there with you.
It gets a lot worse, bud. I promise you. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
This thing I miss most about youth is just not waking up sore every day for no reason whatsoever. It's yeah.
Oh my. Anyway, so let's get right into this. I mean, Don, your traditional banking systems, have not been working for many Americans. This is something that you speak about a lot. It's something that Mr. Witkoff talked about, and that
1 minute Bitcoin chart since they started talking
all of
a
you
little
at
bit.
this stage. I talked earlier about how my company's been debanked. My CEO has been debanked, and he's an American citizen from Texas. Got a call one day and said, "Hey, come pick up your money, and we're gonna send it to you by the mail. Here's a check." Said, No.
Solana?
I'm gonna come pick it up. To me, it was insane that this is even an option, and we're talking about someone who has
found some support,
some money, right?
Yeah. Just be careful it doesn't break back down to the mid
Family's
120s.
very familiar.
Probably not the
low
120s, but
so
mid 120s.
how does DeFi fix these problems?
Well, listen, I mean, I think I was probably a late adapter into some of these technologies.
Oh, also, let me just do something very fast for me. So as we kind of listen to this and we kind of see what they're proposing and stuff, remember, well, I don't even think many of you guys would actually use this product in the first place. I just kind of want to see what they're talking about, to be frank. But well, this could be interesting for crypto going forward, but I doubt it's going to be a huge thing for crypto. I don't see a lot of money floating into this space, but I think it could bring more people into crypto slowly. But they better start, when they say DeFi and stuff, they better start explaining what they're talking about for the average person, because I think there's a lot of average people trying to figure out what's being said, and I don't really hear many explanations or examples of what they're trying to do.
Legit business with, small business was a little media company just to sort of aggregate news that was not being shown to people otherwise. And he calls the bank like, "Listen, I think we got hacked." "Oh, no, you weren't hacked. We just don't want to do business with you." They broke up with us by mail. They didn't even call us. Like, we didn't even get the call. They just like, "Oh yeah, there's a cashier's check. You'll have it in the mail in a couple of days." But we got an operating business. We got payroll. What are you talking about? So, we went from being able to pick up the phone to anyone to having the same thing happen. We've had family members that have had, 7-figure accounts with specific banks be like, "Well, I just want to use some of that money to get a home loan for this. Will you write the rest of the loan?" "No, that's too risky for us." It's like, we have more money in the account than the value of the home. What are you talking about? It's too risky. But,
obviously,
it's interesting because we went from being sort of, people that would have been, the elite in that world to just being like totally canceled. And it
watch out for Bitcoin and the 20-day moving average.
Understand what so many Americans are going through. And when you really look at America and our foundation, the way our founding fathers set everything up, I think DeFi would be what they would envision, not a broken, bureaucratized system where a bunch of middlemen are getting pieces and VIGs for doing nothing, for pushing paper, which creates not just sort of a lot of waste and inefficiency, but really has become a politicized process, and we see that. And again, that only goes one way. You can say that I'm, this incredible radical, but, I get called that all the time. I mean, I don't know. I went to the Wharton School of Finance. I have a pretty good finance background. We built and changed the skyline of New York as a family and some cities in the world. I think first time I got invited back to speak at Wharton I was like 28 years old. I didn't know anything probably by then. I still didn't know anything. I'll say that for the record. But I think we've learned a lot since then. And now, that same access isn't available to us. So for me, and so much of what we've done, and really so much of what's been, a part of our political journey, is that, creating actual fairness in these systems that have been, truly bastardized and politicized. I mean, and we witnessed it firsthand, because it's like you had whatever you wanted, and that was just ripped away from us in an instant. And we're a family that we're blessed to have the means to be able to do a lot of things. We're blessed to be able to have, for someone who doesn't have that power or the soapbox or the balance sheet. What do they do? How do they finance it? And so it's a real problem that needed to be addressed. And honestly, I think this is the way. This is the way of the future. This is the way to eliminate that efficiency. A lot of it being peer-to-peer and not going through the usual bureaucratized system. So I think everything that's been talked about right now is so important. But like for me, this is about like how we save so much of what I believe our founding fathers really intended for our country.
So I was going to ask you something that you answered. I was going to ask you, has banking become political in the USA? Clearly, it seems like
I want to come down.
I mean, like not seems. It is.
It is.
It has become politicized.
Oh yeah.
You can look at that, whether it's spreads, whether it's rates, who can get what. That's been going on for a long time, and it's sad and it's disgusting.
So I was going to ask you if it affects the everyday American, which you did. You get into that already.
Yeah.
So then the question is, if this all affects the everyday American, to me, cryptocurrency is freedom.
Yeah.
This is why I do what I do.
Correct.
I own my money on my ledger. Nobody can take it away from me.
Correct.
So how does DeFi help the everyday American?
Well, this way, I think it takes that political component out of it. I mean, and you see that, right? I mean, if you look at
here, I'll pause the audio for just a second. Yeah, I just opened up a short. I'm going to close it here in a second. I just wanted to scalp because it seems like people don't like this conversation that they're trading Bitcoin. And on top of that, we're still playing with that 20-week moving average right here. And I'm looking and I'm salivating. And I probably should hold longer than I am about to, but I'm live streaming with you guys, so I'm hoping I don't have to do it too much. But yeah, so here's the 1 minute chart. It's still breaking down. I'm up $128, up $137, 39. 42. We break 150. I'll close it. 144. No, because we're getting close to this support level over here. 154. There we go. In and out. Beautiful little 150 for 5 minutes trading. Not even 5 minutes trading. Thanks, Trumps. See, Trumps are making me money already. What are you talking about here? What are you talking about? All right. Scalp play. Just for fun. Let's get back to the audio.
For someone that doesn't have sort of, let's call it the natural.
I got to make a living somehow.
Having worked as a family business for 40 something years.
Right. So I know many people in crypto, right, who may not have.
Yeah, that's a decent level. It might come back down even more actually over the next few hours, but a scalp is a scalp. You gotta stick to your guns here.
Change after tonight's address.
Let's see if I sold too early.
Crypto, which is quite positive. Why do you think this is happening now? And what message do you have for people who weren't in your camp before, but might be considering joining it because of how open you are to tech and innovation?
Well, listen, I think the facts speaks for themselves, right? If you're looking at it just purely from a political standpoint, I mean, the Republican Party, the conservative side of things are clearly the people that are okay with said freedom, right? The other side, and I don't want to make it just political because it's not. I mean, it's finance, but ultimately, your balance sheet, your ability to transact in these
Bitcoin's down about 1% so far
will be affected by politics, right? One side is the side of censorship. They're the side that wants to jail their political opponents. They want to overregulate everything so much that you actually eliminate so many of the natural and great things
here's
that
what we can
love
do
about crypto. I do think that's what my father was saying earlier.
Ethereum's at that large level of support as well. Why don't we just open up an Ethereum short?
We've been on this journey now for 9 months-ish.
Yeah.
Let's open a $500 Ethereum
we can
trade.
Talk to Laura, like, hey,
and then let's make it be a leverage of 20. That's safe enough.
Is it this or is it that? What's the safe bet?
And let's just short. Can we bounce up a little bit though?
Out there. I think people do need an understanding and a framework.
It's fine. We're going to leave this open until tomorrow. We're going to see how it ends up being. So $500. Sorry, let me turn off the audio. $500, 20x short. We're going to leave it till tomorrow, and we're going to see if Bitcoin does break down or if Ethereum does break down. Because as you guys recall, go over to the weekly chart. See that trend line right there? We're basically sitting on top of that. So Ethereum has some more room to run. So let's short this down. And there we go. I probably should have bought a little bit later, but we'll watch this play out. There we go. This is big for the 5-minute chart here. We're ending the hour at this point. So we might have a more of a wick that continue or have a reversal, but I'm expecting us probably to have a wick then go down. Up $9. There you go. There you go. Oh, sorry, I forgot the audio wasn't on.
What they were buying.
There we go.
Why? Because it was really...
They're talking about the mortgage-backed security crisis of 2008. Basically, we're waiting to see if Bitcoin bounces from here. I just closed my short, so I'm waiting to see what happens next.
Guy got absolutely screwed. And what the blockchain would do, if you integrated blockchain technology into the bond market, for instance, you would be able to see all of these transactions on the blockchain. You'd be able to see that they're junk bonds very clearly, and you'd be able to see that the bank actually moved them from these junk portfolios into these new portfolios because all of those transactions are publicly recorded. So that's one area where I think, you can make a real difference with blockchain technology. Another one, I'll say, as it relates specifically to DeFi, is automation through smart contracts. Right, we've all gotten mortgages before. Don and his family, they've gotten some pretty big mortgages, I'd say.
It's gotten a lot harder.
Yeah, right.
It's gotten a lot harder.
But let me ask you this: even when it wasn't hard, how long did it take you to get a mortgage? How much?
Insane. And the reality also, the points in and out to deal with people who are really not all that impressive, that were adding not really a lot of value, also just incredibly wasteful. I mean, 3-4 points in and out of a deal, it's like it's nuts on on $1 billion more for what? For a couple of guys to push some paperwork around. I mean, it's truly insane. And eliminating that waste is like, I just take personal joy actually in the ability to actually take on some of those systems, because I'm the guy that had to deal with those guys. I'm the guy that was, when I was a young kid and I was still sitting there on an Excel spreadsheet back when, in my early 20s, was like, I'm the guy giving some bureaucrat a bunch of nonsense that they're just filing away and they're just checking another box and it's points in and out and they're trying to pretend
making sure they're not having any live retweets about Trump and stuff.
And just like we need government efficiency, we need business efficiency, because these dollars are just really being wasted. And the last thing I'll say is I think that it offers a really compelling opportunity for some of the young folks out there that want exposure to real estate. And I know there's a lot of them, because they all tell me, Zach, how do I get exposure to real estate? And I'm, I sort of laugh and I tell them, unfortunately, it's really not possible unless you're, one of the top families out there to get exposure to blue chip real estate. And, blockchain technology, tokenizing some of this real estate, you're essentially fractionalizing it and you're opening the liquidity pool to a whole new class of investor. And you're also globalizing it, right? You're exposing...
CZ is getting released from prison on September 29th, so he's getting released on my birthday.
And compelling. It's gonna, it's gonna cut down on a lot of costs, like Don was saying, and ultimately it's gonna lead to a big increase in property values, I think. So
wow,
I think it's pretty compelling.
Oh, this is great. I mean, I have one more question for both you and Don, as then I'll segue into Zach, Chase, and Co, and Eric Trump, who may have to run to Fox.
Yeah, I think he's also doing other TV.
This is why we got Baron on.
We're multitasking.
But don't worry, we got your little brother on. So we got Baron on. So Baron, hang tight. Yeah, he's still here. So in the meantime, when
they have Baron Trump here as well. Wow.
Go to Baron, but just quickly, your father already touched on that before he left. But before you guys go, kind of want to ask you, what's it been like, working with Zach and Chase? I'll get to you in a second, Chase, but before that, what's it been like, working with the guys?
Yeah, I'll start with that one. Chase is and Zach.
JP Morgan says Fed to cut rates by 50.
Most stand-up individuals I know. They're men of ethics, of morals, and integrity. And I would challenge. I'll echo what my dad said. I'd challenge any banker or economist out there to have a macroeconomics debate with Chase Hero. And I'll let you in on
anybody in the room.
It's like stepping onto a debate stage with President Trump. You're just not going to win. So.
By the way, I'll echo that entirely. I mean, like I said, I've been dealing with bankers now for, I graduated Wharton in 2000. So a long enough time. Okay. Quarter century, let's call it. And
I wasn't born.
Exactly. And the level of sophistication, whether we're talking, bond markets or yields, I mean, these guys will go down a rabbit hole that I guarantee you the average sophisticated banker on Wall Street could not even keep up. And so, there's definitely, that component of crypto that there's the Wild West, and you got to sort of almost disclaim everything because there's some bad actors, but I think generally speaking, the community has been incredible and embracing. So you sort of do have to look out for that. But like, again, the level of sophistication, honestly, I'm not someone that, I don't judge a book by its cover. When I'm looking at those shoes, I'm like, that looks like my daughter's golf shoes, Chase. But it's fine. It's fine. But these guys start talking about, financial markets in a way that honestly, like, you could put them in a boardroom at Goldman Sachs and they're going to smoke the people in the room. It's actually really impressive. It shocked even me. And again, at this point, I've been stereotyped and called every name in the book. So I don't really judge anything by what anyone else says. I make my own opinions. And these guys have been awesome at that. So it's really impressive. And it actually gave me, such a level and confidence of what I think we're doing here, is really a game changer. I mean, this is the start, I think, of a financial revolution.
I love that. I definitely love the term financial revolution here because it's definitely what's happening. When you're in crypto, you really feel it. Like there's still 100,000 people tuned into its Twitter Spaces. I'm sure millions of people will see this. And I really hope that every American listen to this or people outside just give crypto a dabble or a shot because it makes you feel really different. It's what really got me. NFTs and then the freedom, the feeling of being able to own my
And we're going
money.
to try to do a lot of that also because again, even for me, I've been following it for a long time, have a lot of friends in the space, but like, I'm still a neophyte, you know what I mean? And I'm okay to admit that. And, there are hurdles, there are complexities, there are, things aren't made as easy as perhaps they could be. And there's sort of a lot of, then fear mongering into this, so, I think a whole part of this is, I hope that we can help sort of simplify so much of this for a lot of people who, love the idea of it, but just, they look at the complexities and they look at just, honestly, even setting up some of these accounts and then, it's like, it can be,
Steve, I'm doing well.
Overwhelming, but I think there's a lot of people that, frankly, like me, have lost a lot of faith in the traditional institutions, and they sort of realize it's all, a lot of those just one big Ponzi scheme, right? And guess what? If you don't know, what's going on, like, you're not the guy at the top of it, you know what I mean? And so, we saw that in 2008. We saw that, and it was interesting because it was a time where, that was the beginning of my business career in real estate, and I sort of remember going to my father at that time and being like, listen, we got to go all in on this. We got to go. I was just a young, aggressive, 20-something. I thought I knew everything because I experienced, 5 or 6 years of a real estate boom before the world hit a wall, in 07, 08.
Hey, Matthew, hope you're doing well.
It was actually the first time I was sort of like, wait, wow, he's learned from his own eras, whether it was in the early 90s or other, and he just looked at me like, don't be so glib. You don't know shit right now. Like, I go, what do you mean? We've crushed it here. He's like, yeah, but you've never lived through a down cycle. And it was a really interesting message from the guy that is sort of just known as being sort of like all in long every time at all, like, it doesn't matter. And it was like, oh wow, like, it was really sort of introspective. It was a conversation I never assumed I would have had until that point. And man, was he right. We structured our entire business different. We focused on doing, more like a license model for real estate so that, we could participate in the upside, but not take some of that downside risk. And then when the world did go to hell and it did hit a wall going, a billion miles an hour, all of a sudden it was like, wait, we didn't lose anything. We have all these cash reserves. And then we just started picking up things for 10 cents on the dollar, and, really grew an empire. And so, it's fascinating to see that. I see so much of that going on here. And I think we just want to make that easy and available, for so many other people that I think would really love to participate in, because I think they have probably that same dejected notion, of what's going on out there with everything else.
No, I've been friends with Junior for years. I've never heard that story.
I don't tell that story lightly because
that
was like, he literally goes, "Don't be glib." I'm like, Donald Trump just said I'm being glib. I'm like, I was like, who are you and what have you done with my father? What's going on here?
I know a thing or two about being max long all the time and not believing in downtrends. It's kind of that guy screaming super cycle in 2021 until it hit me in the face. So.
Listen, hey, you know what, boss? I'll say this, like. I've learned a lot more getting punched in the face than I have from the easy times. Like by a factor, like I learned.
The dollar index is at a big level of support
than I did in the prior 8 years of my real estate career by a factor of about $1 billion.
I love that.
And it changes things. And I think and I think that by the way, that holds true, not just for business or investing, but I think it holds true for life. You learn a lot more about yourself going through the adversity. We've dealt with plenty as of late. So, it's important.
I love that. Chase. I mean, we just got quite an intro.
Yeah, don't let us down now, man. He's going to start bumbling and mumbling. I'm going to be like, everything I said was a lie. I take it all back. I disavow.
So you got Steve Witkoff's, kudos.
I disavow. Yeah.
Zach and Don Jr. and I mean, even Senior, so we'll cut straight to the chase. No pun intended, actually. Just realized that. Exactly. Just cue it out on the video after. So there's been a lot of rumors floating around, World Liberty Financials, yourselves, etc., and about the project, most importantly. Is any of it true?
Oh, that's a good one, right off the gate. No, the funny thing is it, a lot of people like to say a lot of things, and I'll always start with this. When I first got into this space, I felt like it was a warm place where we were together and worried about what outsiders' opinions were. And, when I stepped back into the space, I wanted to kind of come in here to solve this bifurcation and how things have become this way. And it's just been an interesting voyage. You know what I'm saying? It's been an interesting voyage from start to finish with these guys. And it's hard to follow up these guys. They get me so excited about this space. I feel reinvigorated by it. It reminds me of 2015 when I walked into the first conference and I had a hoodie on. I was scared the World of Warcraft warriors were going to find me, So, but I like that. It was warm and it was wholesome and we all worked together. So, it's hard to say what's being out there because I try not to listen to it or pay attention to it too much. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, because I can't control people's outlooks and, the way I look and the way I act and the way I've been through in life, it's all targets people want to paint in their own way. And that's fine by me. This was never about me. This was about bringing really intelligent people together that were curious and that wanted to, save the little man. You know what I'm saying? We all got into crypto and DeFi especially because we were, sick of being de-enfranchised from the banks, right? You have some money, you can borrow some collateralized debt against it, right? You have some assets, they're good. In this space, it's almost the same way because of the use case of getting into it, So half the world can't utilize big finance, the other half of the world can't utilize DeFi. And the reason being is it's too complicated. I mean, we were introducing you and your brother to it and you guys what, I gotta go to MIT to get
I felt like I was in kindergarten again. I was like, I felt like a slow individual. It was, for a little while. I think we're catching up quickly, but there's still a long runway.
And I feel like, because there's so many brilliant people in this space and the evolution of what they built is just astounding that somewhere along the way, we've gotten so smart, we forgot about the people who maybe, was too much gas or, that's not really built for them or the on-ramps are too difficult. And, for me, I always like the big challenges, the big adventures, because that's where the depth comes, And so, when I talk with the boys and I said, I got a really interesting challenge I think we can face that's perfectly aligned with you guys, who else can reach a world in a way you guys can, especially the average person, the teachers, the firemen, the police officers, who all deserve a piece of what big finance is, but I've been excluded from it for so long for, no fault of their own, just nature of the game, right? And it's a courageous battle, one that I'm sure we ridiculed the entire time on, and that's okay. When you're called up to be a soldier, you put your armor on and get your big boy pants on and, you keep your head to the ground. And that's why we don't come up and respond to too much. We're working, they'd rather have us build something good than sit there and fight this verbal warfare that there is no right or wrong answer that I can give you. Whatever I'm going to say, you're going to make your assumptions from it. And we're just going to sit here.
All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break so I can just give you guys a little bit more of an update about what's going on with the crypto market here. If you guys are just tuning into the channel, basically what we're listening to is the live from Mar-a-Lago with President Donald Trump announcement. They're doing a big announcement around World. Let me see if I can actually say this name properly. World Liberty. Yeah, World Liberty is the company they're coming out with. Has almost 100,000 likes on it so far. It's basically Donald Trump's crypto project. And we're going to see how this works out. It is going to be very volatile, I would expect, because anything tied to Donald Trump is going to be volatile. I mean, just look at his stocks, right? So we're going to listen to this a little bit more here. And then you guys can see Bitcoin getting hammered a little bit over the last few hours. We really started going down back over here. So it's been basically 50 minutes or so of Bitcoin going down. Right now, Bitcoin's trying to consolidate and have a larger move. We did a little bit of a scalp a few minutes ago, made $150, got out within like 5 minutes. That was kind of fun. Now I have an open short on Ethereum, but this is going to be something where I hold it for a few days here just to see if it makes me some money. I would say this short on Ethereum is probably a little bit more of a higher risk trade, and that really comes down to the fact that we are at a big level of support, as you can see right here. But I'm looking at momentum coming down. I'm looking at a bearish change of character. I'm looking at, stochastic and RSIs all being bearish. I'm pretty much taking a pretty aggressive shot at Ethereum breaking back down towards $2,100. And then from there, maybe I'll start to close my position, maybe about 50%, and then I'll see what happens later on. But I don't know how much further Ethereum can really move down, right? So a pretty aggressive trade by me. You guys don't have to follow that type of move right now. We're just trying to slow down a little bit. But the trade is down a little bit right now. We're actually up around 7%. That's actually not terrible, surprisingly. But yeah, so up a little bit here. We'll wait and see how it goes. It's only $32 right now, and we open the trade. You can see how little movement has happened since we opened up the trade. I basically opened the trade right here. It popped up, and now it went down a little bit more. I know some of you guys went long, so we'll kind of see how this pans out. I think mine's more of a longer term play though, so I hope in the short term it actually pumps up for you guys so you guys can make some money. Yeah, we're up $30. Not a lot, but you know what? That's a few coffees out here in Seattle. Just a few, but I do like my coffee. Speaking of coffee, I should pour myself another cup here. So I don't know how much longer this announcement thing is going to be going on, but we're going to be vibing for a while. We'll see if we can make some money or whatnot. And we'll see if Bitcoin still reacts, because as they were talking, we saw Bitcoin really come down here, really come down. So far, we are trying to have a reversal. It's a baby one, but hey, it's still a way for some of you guys that want to scalp. You can actually see that level of resistance right now. We should have something more of a pop here pretty soon, which is why when I opened up that Ethereum short, I was like, man, I should have waited a little bit longer, but you never know if it's going to happen now and later. Well, kind of you do, but you get the point I'm making. All right, so let me pull this back out. Let's listen to them again, and we can hear what they're talking about.
We are securing the U.S. economy's sovereignty and freedom individually, and at the same time, giving people an asset that they can control. I mean, when's the last time you heard of an average person going out and buying a T-bill or a bond?
Yeah.
Never. Yeah, I don't think I've heard
that. Yeah, and the U.S. government itself getting away from like the petrodollar and all these things. I mean, that makes it very hard for the U.S. government to borrow and give us a lot of the things that, a lot of it's waste, but a lot of things are actually required. And so, I mean, this seems like a good backfill to that for what I perceive to be a lot of mistakes being made on the international scene, certainly as it relates to the petrodollar.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely. So, Chase, how do you see your project, reshaping the financial landscape for the coming years?
Accessibility. It's you ever look at any big project in this world, it's the idea is to get users on there to use it, to make it easy for them to enjoyable. And I really think that's where we need to get, and that's why I love them as a family, is their whole idea is about this start to finish comfort, like the ease of use. I would say they're perfect in class in that. And so our goal here is just as that, is to, and constantly working around just making sure that we can make a system that is easy for the everyday American, everyday global patron to come on, to access this environment, and to get a fighting chance in a space that has been, out of their reach just due to the complexity of it. I mean, it truly is. I mean, in the beginning of this, we used to go to my mother and my grandmother and my sisters, and I'd be like, listen, I'm going to give you a bounty, $10,000. If you can get to where you have a MetaMask.
Are any of you guys going to join this project? I'd be happy to know. Actually, I'll put up some polls.
People get stuck really quickly. This is a very advanced technology. And I think that along the way of this advancements, we've kind of missed the ball of leaving the breadcrumbs as maybe people think. And that's the future here. I really, really, truly believe is when everyday Americans are using this, and they're experiencing this, and they understand the freedom of it. And that's, to me, is the coolest thing ever, is that your bank is wherever you go. It's in your pocket. You have money. It's right here. It's here's where I go. Here's what I use.
Eye-opening.
It truly. It's funny. In just the day.
I put a couple polls up for you guys to answer.
I'll bring my ledger to the golf course. Or I'll.
Sorry, I put up a couple polls. If you guys are going to buy or use his new project, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts.
Couple random occasions.
I was like, I got this one, boys.
Yeah, we got this.
And the thing is and at that same notion, again, it's just the parallel of these spaces is going to be the hardest intersection to make. It truly is. And so you need the largest grasp of the simplest ways to do it. And I've just never met in my entire life someone who can break something down so simply like you and your father and your family does. And I really think like merging these two gaps gives the American, person a fighting chance for this sovereign freedom. And it's going to be a revolutionized thing, because the average person doesn't even get to get a yield off of a dollar. I mean, you go put your dollars in the stable coins, you put them on chain, you're instantly making money. It's like, and it's all backed by the treasury. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes like this. Why are we excluding this, from the world? And part of me thinks that sometimes some people want excluded. Some people want it held off from the world. Some people inside of it want it held off.
A lot of very powerful people, for a lot of very bad reasons, definitely don't want this to happen, right? I mean, it eliminates a lot of their power. It eliminates a lot of their potential resources, and that inefficiency. Someone's making money for it. When 08 happened, a lot of people still bought Hamptons houses, and a lot of people were left with no retirement savings. And I think we're trying to eliminate that inequity there.
Yeah, I mean, efficiency is a very, very profitable business for some people.
Oh yeah.
Right. I think the misconception is that not crypto versus the US dollar. It's crypto and the US dollar. It's crypto and America. It's crypto supporting America and vice versa. But a lot of people seem to be making this like warfare between the two of them. But we're just trying to build something cool, man.
Exactly. Liquidity. I mean, and that's the thing is like, I see a lot of the bifurcation in the asset ownerships, like the classes, like who's better than other. And I get it. I understand it, the camaraderie and all that. But like my goal is unified. It is to bring liquidity into this space. Period. End dot period. And so far, the best Rails I've ever seen to do is going in the Rails via stablecoin, right? And it's like until there's other easier on ramp, that's the avenues that we explore, And so, like I said, my goal is a very simple one, and I don't want to make enemies. No, I know I will. Everybody's like, oh, you're this way or that way. It's seriously just to bring in liquidity into this space that's much needed.
I love that. Well, thank you very much, Chase. Hang tight. I know Zach's here. I know Eric is probably getting interviewed by Fox right now, but we do have Baron on the Twitter Spaces, and I've got questions for him. He's not here anymore. We took too long, so we're gonna try
to get him back.
We're gonna try and get him back if he's still
teenagers.
Around. Yeah,
I'm like the old boomer now. I'm like a grumpy old man with a white beard. It's like
Dude, Baron's about to be past his bedtime.
I see Baron's account on here, but he's going to come back. Okay, awesome. I just got news that Baron or Eric? Sorry. Eric,
Eric's coming back. Yeah, he's just finishing up.
Oh, CKB is down 9% last 24 hours, too.
He's on national television right now. If you're watching Fox instead of this.
No, you should be watching this instead.
You should be watching this. Listening,
this is much
the
better.
Camera's
a little more exciting.
Yeah,
I wish you could see us now, because this is looking really good, okay? This room is sick.
It's definitely aura. This place is amazing, isn't it?
This painting is fire.
It's still doing okay. Not great, but it's up a little bit, up 58%.
Pay a lot of money for that painting right
here. I am sure. I wish. I mean, this camera 1 or 2 was good.
It's got its
trying to bounce
lore,
back
right?
too.
Oh,
so that painting was given to my father, but the left hand was left unpainted, and they said the artist basically said,
The Trump project is called World Liberty. You can find it on Twitter or X
or whatever the number was. And I think my father basically went to another artist and be like, "Here, I'll give you $500 to get you painted a hand." So the hand is a little bit different. But he was like, "I'm not going to get game by this clown." Let's,
that is too good.
I think it's like one of the most Trump stories ever. I believe it to be accurate. I mean, this has been legend for a while. So
we got to do Rug Radio more, because I'm getting stories that I haven't heard my entire life.
Yeah, listen.
I've been friends with Junior.
Yeah, my big problem is you put a camera on me, I get much more open than I am. I'm basically like a recluse that likes to go shooting by myself.
I mean, you guys are welcome on Rug Radio anytime you want. We have over 100 creators across the world creating content. I'm live every morning. I'll come back to Mar-a-Lago for y'all.
We'll do a lot. You come on my show on Rumble, we'll talk more about this. Listen, because this is going to be an evolution. And again, just because
I didn't even know he had a show on Rumble.
I'd say, I'm a reasonably sophisticated financial person. I'd be an accredited investor in basically anything, and yet, even going through this journey, if it's complicated for me, it's too complicated for most people, to get started.
Funny enough, if the Trumps get into crypto, I believe the pettiness of Congress will get regulations done that much faster.
And here's what's going on. And I'm like, if we can simplify that to people, once you get through it, it's like, it's not that bad. But the barrier to entry, even just psychologically,
correct.
When you see all of this stuff, is a lot, and it doesn't have.
There is no fundamentals yet,
so,
Ken. There's nothing.
If I can contribute anything to all of this
yet.
in the future, is just creating that access for everyone. Because the more people that are using it, the more people that are out there active. I think honestly, the bigger front we put towards those traditional institutions that had sort of the monopoly, whether it's liquidity or otherwise for far too long and for no real reason.
I love that. I think that's a great segue into the next segment. I mean, Zach, if you want to join us, I know you're busy. You're handling many things. I think we can go to Zach and Chase. Chase, you hang tight right there. Okay. But we'll switch one Trump for another Trump in 5 minutes. I think he said it's going to be 15. But yeah, Zach, I mean.
Oh, Bitcoin's about to have a small breakout here, looks like.
When Eric comes, you guys can just swap around, right? That's an easy one. I mean, the camera can fix all that. All right, so I guess we'll wait for Eric, but in the meantime, I do have you two. So let's get right into that. Let me just, you're a tall guy, Zach, so they've got to readjust the mic, dude.
No problem.
They had to adjust it.
Take your time.
They had to,
Right.
Screw that.
yeah, come here, and if you want, when Eric comes, we'll just slide.
I sit
down
next to him all day, every day,
This is great. I mean, listen, guys, no
Let
pressure.
me check out some of these other time frames here. 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 12 hour, and daily.
World Liberty Financial.
I mean, you should stay with us until Eric comes.
Yeah, come back here.
Big move here. We got to hold. We got to hold strong. Otherwise, it's going to be a flush.
Just confirming, Zach, is it true that you stole Don Jr.'s wife's jeans?
Maybe or maybe not.
Okay.
On advice of
what
counsel,
is the lawyer saying?
To not answer that question.
No,
Like I said, I wasn't sure if the mics picked it up, but when I stop breaking chops, that's when you have to actually worry. So as long as I'm breaking balls, you're in my good graces.
It wouldn't be Rug Radio if nobody's breaking chops.
Exactly.
So let me tell you that. So Zach, we'll just start with you, right? Until we get Eric back. So listen, Zach. I know that you care a lot about usability. That's something that we've been talking about a lot. You think that it's one of the biggest barriers to DeFi adoption. There's something that you and I kind of,
I think it's the biggest barrier.
The biggest barrier.
To
so
DeFi adoption right now.
You and I got to talk about this, yesterday through launch, but we were waiting for the whole thing to happen. So how does
I kind of want to scalp Bitcoin up,
World Liberty Financial
I might be overtrading at that point.
And then who do you plan
Wilder, yes, it is.
into DeFi ecosystem with this platform?
Great questions. So the first thing is, and I think that Don Jr. was kind of alluding to this, is the usability in DeFi is so difficult or confusing. Now, what I mean by that is a lot of the DeFi protocols, like for example, we've sent, Eric or Don Jr. links to some of our favorite DeFi protocols and said, here's what you do on this platform, here's what to do. And I've done this with a lot of my friends. I've got a lot of friends, Chase and I have a lot of friends who are wealthy, they are technically savvy, and they already have exposure to cryptocurrencies, be it Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever. But the majority of these friends of ours hold all of these assets in their Coinbase account. They never deploy these funds into DeFi, and most of them aren't even aware that there's something that you can do beyond just speculate on assets, right? And for us, the thing that we like the most, you heard Chase.
I like holding my money on my wallet and not touching it.
I like it. Kind of remove that speculation. For me, I think that's one of the things where, like Chase said, where the most opportunity to bring new people into this space are. And the ability to show people who already have a lot of exposure to assets like Ethereum and Bitcoin, that not only is there something you can do with these assets, but making a product where it's really easy for the user to engage with it. Now, I know we have like 70 some odd thousand people who are still on this, and, your father left, which means they're sticking around to hear about the token, and they want to hear all the juicy details. These are our true DeFi and crypto community, right?
Here's your fundamentals, fundamentals right here.
Let me tell you that. I can see them.
I see your responses on Twitter, and we really appreciate you guys for tuning in. So the thing is that I'm sure all of you who have ever interacted with a DeFi platform probably feel like it's either difficult to engage with. You land on you launch the application and there's no real explanation as to what to do or what the benefit is to the user. Or you get there and it's just a smorgasbord of tons of different markets or, yield staking opportunities or whatever it might be, to the point where it's overwhelming and you have, too many choices and you just end up leaving, right? And a perfect example, like Don was saying, it's happened with the boys where, Eric was basically trying to loop Ethereum on Aave. We had Chase, Don Jr., myself, the Witkoffs, we were all out to dinner. We were talking about it, and they wanted to, go and loop some Ethereum. We had this great conversation about it. So I send the link to Aave to Eric, and he goes, you got to give me a call. I'm too frustrated. I can't figure this out, right? So we proceed to go through the steps of how to loop Ethereum on Aave, and he did it. He's technically savvy. And if someone and I know Eric, he's a technically savvy guy. It's not like trying to explain it to you.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it.
It's not like
listen, as a brother, I may argue with some of this, but
and he's not in the room to hear that shot.
You say they sound like scammers.
The files are in the computer.
It's because they're trying to sell you something.
But yeah, it's absolutely right.
And they keep on saying they're going to release details, but I'm not hearing any details. They're just it goes off to a tangent joke.
I think this is almost part of the ethos in DeFi, which is, if you don't get it, it's not for you. And I think that's a big problem, where if we really want to see a massive amount of adoption, mainstream adoption, and liquidity flood into this market, we need to build products that the everyday user who's used to interacting with apps on their phone, who's used to using certain financial sites and tools, can relate to
scalp
and
Bitcoin.
instantly pick it up, feel like they know what to do with the product, what the benefits in it for them.
Can we scalp
and
Bitcoin
to be able
here?
to use it right away without too much info and friction.
So what's
Or
the
is
main
it too
goals
late?
of World Liberty Financial? Let's go to a question to the both of you, right? Zach and Chase. So I'll go to you first, Zach. But what's the goal? But most important, how do you plan on actually accomplishing those goals?
Yeah. So I think rather than trying to rebuild the wheel,
It'll be a quick scalp.
The best of DeFi and basically bring it to the everyday person who isn't already interacting with DeFi platforms. Build products that are really simple and intuitive and easy to use, where you don't feel like you need to phone a friend to get a walkthrough, and to just onboard as many people
57.9
simple products where they can actually start to earn yield on their assets, not take a ton of risk by speculating on
for a couple
the
minutes.
next meme coin. But instead,
maybe we can do that. We'll see.
That are pegged to the US dollar.
We'll have to wait a little bit. This is a high risk trade. I probably wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't free streaming with you guys.
Such as Ethereum or
and then let's do 57.
And for you, Chase, I just would like to ask you a similar question here.
Yes.
What's your personal goals with this? What are you trying to accomplish?
He's always the more practical and I'm always the more ambitious one. So my goal is, I want to unchain ourselves from the debt. I want to, restructure where the American debt is being held. And, it's good for crypto. Listen, he who holds the debt holds the power. And so it's good for crypto. It's good for America. And the system works. And listen, as rates are going to start falling, that money's going to start leaving these places that need a home to go. We want to create something that makes it really sound and smart for that money to go to. And that's the goal here. It's I think of America first, and we put our soldier outfit on, and we're going to build a product to do just that,
I love that.
That's the end goal here. So,
and the other thing, just to add to that, in terms of our goal in general, right? I think, we have pretty good relationships with a lot of the big players in crypto. And anybody who knows Chase and myself and has worked with us on this World Liberty Financial project, either in the forefront or working behind the scenes, because we have a lot of support behind the scenes. Everybody will tell you that our goal here is to shine a light on the entire crypto community as a whole. We all know that there's a ton of tribalism in crypto. No one can agree on what the right layer 2 is or what the right token is, and that's fine. Our goal here is to really shine a light on everything that crypto and DeFi has to offer, whether it's Rug Radio and decentralized media platforms, whether it's decentralized lending platforms like Aave, or anything in between. We really want to be able to shine the spotlight on the tools and the things that have really given Chase and myself a massive leg up in the ability to do something that most people can't do. We want to make all of that available to the average person and really shine a light on this incredible community that we've been a part of for, almost 10 years now.
Wow, this is really cool. I got another question for you guys while we wait for Eric here.
One marker.
You kind of talked
a little bit of resistance coming up.
And I want to get there. It's the soldiers, right? You said you built a team of soldiers that are all in, and then you went and said, you have a lot of strong connections within the world of crypto, et cetera. So I've heard, and obviously I've seen the announcement that you've been rolling out lately, and we have a couple advisors that are going to then join us as well. Corey's in the room, and he's on the spaces right now.
Actually, can we blow it up and tell him the info, the little alpha right here?
Oh, we're gonna get some alpha.
All right, so I've got Corey's permission. So Corey,
now we
what wall is this? 57,872 wall here. There we go.
Technically, this is the first time that we've actually shared this publicly. So, for all of you who have been following World Liberty Financial and been watching our advisor posts, we named Corey Kaplan as one of our advisors, technical advisors. He's a phenomenal builder in the space. Anybody who knows him.
It's not popping like I wanted to.
He got involved in the project, and he reached out to us one day, and he said, "Hey, I'm having such a great time here." And I was like, "Oh God, what's coming?" And he goes, "Is it okay if I join the team? Like, I want to actually come on and join the team." And obviously, everybody who was working with him said this is a no-brainer, like without a doubt.
Yeah, he gets that resistance building up.
Want to put out there about
Let's see what happens next. It may go into a double bottom, but I may lose that $50 or $80, whatever it is.
Culture that we're building is really just around people who have something to offer and really are smart and best in class. They always will have a place here in World Liberty Financial. Like, this is not about Chase, myself, or even the Trump family, even though that they're incredibly involved and supportive. This is about building something that is decentralized and can really add to the community, bring a lot of liquidity here, and really, we look at it like a rising tide lifts all boats, and that's really what we want World Liberty Financial to be for the whole space.
I actually won't get into it, but we've actually seen some people reach out to us.
What alpha was given?
Side.
What alpha was just given? They said alpha. I didn't hear any alpha being talked about.
The future here as well. I mean, they're actually sort of visionary in a world that there's not a lot of visionaries oftentimes, and so that to me has been fascinating because
I think it's been well received outside of Web3.
Again, like real traditional banking. Right. And so watching that, and then that's for another time. But that's been pretty fascinating to watch as well because it's not just a flash in the pan. It's not, these are guys.
Let me know if you guys hear the alpha that they were talking about.
They understand the flaws, the pitfalls. They understand what's coming, and they're getting ahead of that for themselves as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And though we've been quiet on most of the media, we're very open people. Like if you're curious and you're humble and you want to come in there and lend your input and your skills and your amazingness, and we can shine a light on amazing stuff you build, please hit us up. Like reach out. Like we really stand on that. Like, we want to make it the home that we remember it as, and if we can do anything here to it, we'll put those shields on and take the battle, take the wounds so that this industry can evolve to be here in 30 years. I mean, listen, I want my kids to be in this space. This is everything I've known. If I can hand something down, this is what we hand down. So if we can do anything that's selfish and unselfish at the same time, this is the play we do. And that's why we're here.
Like, we care about our space, right? Like, I think I speak on behalf of the entire crypto space. Like, it's something, even when we joined, like, pretty late to the game, 2021. I thought it was late, but clearly already enough to build something important enough to be here today with you guys. But, it was always hard to crack that.
The alpha was the guy joining the team. Yeah, that's not alpha.
Obviously. Look where you are now. The biggest interview in the world. Like, I mean.
And you were a no-brainer. Like, when we had chat, we had a lot of media reach out to us, and it was always from a place of, like, I don't want to say demeaning, but like
some Pepe. I love Pepe right now.
They all, the majority, and I mean, who knows better than Don Jr. and the rest of the Trumps?
A lot of betas.
They write articles because they care about who they're writing about. They write articles because they care about their own clicks, and we all know that, right? So the more salacious headlines you write, regardless of how true or not they are, regardless of the level of journalistic integrity you've brought or none, there's very little, and we're going to get into this, but a lot of what's out there is, uncorroborated, not accurate. And, obviously we're here to set the record straight on a lot of that tonight.
Yeah, we're going to get there in a minute here.
But real quick, back to what Chase was saying, for Chase and I, it was just he and I when we were talking about, okay, we got to figure out what do we want to do for the spaces? Like, what kind of vibe do we want to create here? And for he and I, we're like, we got to do it with Farouk. We got to do rug radio.
That's pretty cool.
But for real.
I was in Japan. I got the call. I was like,
because
why? For real?
Because this is for the culture. Like, World Liberty Financial is not a bunch of suits coming into crypto to try to take over. Mm-hmm. It's a bunch of suits coming into crypto, embracing people like, Chase and I who are sitting here and, I'm in ripped jeans that I stole from Don Jr.'s wife. And my T-shirt, and
I got his daughter's shoes on. So
and he's got his daughter's shoes on.
The outfits. I'm like, listen, I'm not much of a suit guy myself. I was like, this is next level. I don't know, guys. I got it. I'm not there yet, but I'm the boomer of the crowd.
Yeah. But the thing is that a lot of people were like, who's this Farouk guy? And I even see it on Twitter.
Of course.
Like,
this is so weird.
That would have killed somebody.
That's alpha? Alfalfa?
But, who would have done anything
too soon.
Too soon. To get this interview are like, why is this guy doing it? And
I've got that a few times already.
Of course. But everybody of the 70 some odd thousand people that are still listening right now, every single one of them understands why we went with you. Every single one of them knows why you have this interview and some, guy from CNN or Bloomberg or whatever is not sitting here with us. So it's really exciting.
Bloomberg.
Jason and I started in this space back in like 2015,
That'd be too weird.
2016. We had one of the first
Bloomberg hates talking about crypto
forums for crypto where people were talking about crypto. A lot of major crypto influencers who you guys all know got their start in our group. That was their first kind of like forum to really be able to build a name and a brand for themselves.
I did not.
And we're here doing this at a much larger scale, integrating DeFi, crypto, NFTs.
Oh, now it pops.
Live
Okay.
from Mar-a-Lago with the Trumps, the most recognized brand in the entire world. Regardless of how you feel about them, regardless of your political leanings, they are the biggest, most powerful brand in the world right now. And the one thing that I really like about DeFi is that it is completely democratized, right? At the end of the day, the best chain with the best performance and the lowest
Be smart. It depends on the time frame.
And the most usability will win, right? The platform that gives the most transparency and the best rates and the most competitive rates on assets will win. It does not matter your political leaning. Everybody is going to embrace World Liberty Financial when they see what we build. They are not going to care. All they're going to do.
I just want to see a website for this freaking company. That's all I want. I just want to see a website.
Today, I expect a lot of chatter, and of course, it is what it is. But 1, 2, 3, 5 years from now, everybody's going to look back and say, "Oh my God, they said they were going to do it, and they did it."
That's all I can hope for, because it's something that I think we all want and hope to do well in the space. We have Eric back in the room.
I'll sub out.
Do you want to stay right there? Swap with.
I'll go kick
slide down and then maybe get Eric right next to me, or do you want like that?
Hey, Loki, how you doing? You being a good
all right,
boy?
everybody,
Yes,
hang tight, because we got Eric Trunk back in the room, straight out of, you were on Hannity.
I forget which one Eric is, but I know he's one of the sons. Oh, it's gonna deny
you
me.
were in the room here helping us out, then back out to Hannity in the van, and then back here with us. I mean, come on, who's got it better than me?
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
There's a battle going on. Hold on.
I got a couple questions for you here. We've had an incredible chat with.
Spoiler alert, by the way, we talked a little bit about your looping Ethereum, so the secret's out.
I like that.
Yeah, sorry.
Looping
I had to get
Ethereum.
Zach talking, and you got really excited.
Jump in on this one because honestly,
Please tell it yourself. Tell it yourself.
Looping story.
Listen, I'm in the hospitality industry, right?
Yes.
We don't want a guest to show up at our hotels. We don't want them to touch a door.
That should do it.
To ever carry a bag.
Scalp successful, in and out, nice and easy. I'm not trading on board tonight. All right, that's enough. I sold too early. Well, that's my fault. Whatever.
Right, and I went to one of the best schools in the country. Smart guy. I understand technology very well. The amount of times that I called Zach saying, "I don't get this."
I sold way too fucking early, but I don't care.
And I literally can't get the browser to pop up.
Scalp is a scalp. Profit is profit.
Working, and then you go to, Aave, and you try and do some looping, but you have to loop it 3 times in order to get to the actual transaction.
What's 100K Pepe?
Man, I'm a pretty smart guy. Again, I understand technology enough. I can't get this to work. There's no way that half of society is.
Here, I'll explain this to you very fast. So, if you look at Pepe's price, you see how it's like a whole bunch of zeros, basically? Like a 100K Pepe or a 10K Pepe or 1K Pepe, is it just giving you a different number, but not different number with less zeros there? So every time Pepe moves up 1%, your asset is still going to move up 1%, like the 100K Pepe is still going to move up 1%, but it's not going to be 0.000000 number. It'll just be 0.00 number. It's just taking away a lot of the zeros. That's basically what you're seeing there when you see 100K Pepe or 50 Pepe or I see 10 Pepe, and things of 10. That's basically what you're seeing. Okay, let's put that the audio.
Everything's taken.
And so, how do we bring what we're so good at?
Maybe I did sell at the right time. I don't know.
And usability. How do we, how did these guys program that into a?
Oh, if you guys can, please make sure to subscribe, like the video, and chat. YouTube does not like my channel all too much. Maybe because I'm a little too anti-government. But if you can, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. Appreciate it a lot, and a subscribe.
Square feet in every single city in this country.
Yeah, first name, profit, yes,
hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes,
and hey, Renee,
payroll, and this and that, which they're passing off to consumers. When this can be done on blockchain, it can be done quicker. It can be done less painlessly. Your money can get wired from into an account in like a couple hours. Direct to your account. There's all the BS, all the nonsense taken out of it. I mean, that is modern day finance. It's modern day finance. But why can't we do that in a way that's efficient, clean, simple, user friendly? And it's one thing that just hasn't been done, because again, when you start trying to link up a Coinbase account to a MetaMask account to an Aave account or a Dolomite account, or it's tough. It's absolutely, that might actually be a plug to somebody that's in this room.
Oh, there you go.
He's coming in next. He's coming in next.
Corey can come in here next and talk all about Dolomite.
Corey, we're going to make it user friendly.
Yeah.
All right.
That would be great. So let me ask you. I mean, we've had Don Jr. here. You know, we had your father, and we have yourself now. Sorry. So how could the Trumps coming into DeFi change the way wealth creation works in America and across the world?
So think about it for a second. You know, say you want to go open up a pet grooming business, and you have $10,000 worth of Ethereum, and you want to borrow against Ethereum. Like, you know, why can't you just be able to go and do it? You know, why do you have to go shed your assets? Why do you have to go sell your assets? Something that you believe is going to appreciate.
The SEC is going to sue them so fast.
You know, that person goes to Chase, zero chance they're getting a loan. Zero chance. They'll laugh, right? I mean, there's not enough zeros behind their name. They'll go through a process that's 120 days long, at which time the business will be gone because your inspiration will be shattered. You know, and by the way, chances are you're 120 days into the process and they tell you no, they cancel you for.
He should ask about what happens when the SEC sues them. That's what I want to know.
It's not efficient.
They're going to get a Wells notice.
Why can't this be done, you know, quickly, seamlessly? And there's so many different financial tools. I mean, I literally feel like our financial system is broken. Our financial system vastly favors the wealthy. It gives others not a chance of success. You better be in kind of, you know, the club. If you're not in the club, you probably don't have a chance. And by the way, if you're not in the club, you're also not getting the best terms.
Not at all.
So there's no parity on lending, borrowing. You know, it kind of quells freedom, and that's not how it's meant to work. It's not how it's, you know, and then at the same time, these banks, as I said before, I mean, we own some of these buildings, right? They're carrying these assets, payments on these assets. They're carrying, you know, 60 floors full of cubicles filled with thousands and thousands and thousands of people to push through transactions, at which time they charge you for, you know, the application process, but then deny your application 90 days later. I mean, there's got to be a better process, right? And if you want to look at financial institutions,
I'm going to see if I can find the website on the side here.
That inefficient model is going to be extinguished, and that these transactions can happen immediately on blockchain with a couple pushes of a button, without the discrimination, without the nonsense, and that's what excites me. It's so obvious.
Yeah.
You know, and I fell down this rabbit hole. And let me just say one other thing. I'm an unconventional guy for crypto, right? I'm a bricks and mortar guy. There's no guy who's built more buildings. There's no guy that's opened more hotels. There's no guy who's, you know, built more golf courses. It's what I do every day. It's hospitality. I mean, I'm a guy who likes the world where you can touch something, bricks, mortar, concrete, tangible. If you've made a believer out of me, then honestly, anybody would be a believer, right? Because if you actually think about it, what crypto is, it's such a hedge to all of that, right? Right now, a hurricane could come and slam into the east coast of Florida, and congratulations, your home, your business is gone. You can see what's happened in California, where you have the largest exodus of people because of bad policy, high taxation, right? Yeah. I mean, so many factors gone. You have geopolitical factors, you know, gone. You've got, you know, crooked AGs and DAs in states who target you relentlessly, gone. You have a bank that cancels your account, like Don was talking about with PNC Bank taking out it, right? So all of a sudden now your business collapse is gone because somebody targeted you. I mean, think about all the intangibles in the world that can happen. Mm-hmm. That can't happen on blockchain. That can't happen, right? And so, you know, as much as people sometimes say the bricks and mortar, I mean, it's safe because it's there and there's always something to collect off of it. Well, it also there's also inherent risks to all of those things that I mentioned, right? And you know, I'm a big fan of Michael Saylor. He's a guy I've known for 25 years. I've known Michael before he was
really?
Michael. I knew him back in New York, and
that's cool.
Different days, and he's a guy I tremendously respect. I actually think he does a better job talking about this than just about anybody.
I agree.
And you know, I mean, he gave one of the great dissertations at the last Bitcoin conference.
He did.
About this, which is no. You actually invest in crypto to de-risk as opposed to add risk. And I think when you could start getting your mind into that mentality about how many inherent risks are actually taken off based on secure blockchain, global currency, you know, a hedge against devaluation, a hedge against global insecurity. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's opened my eyes as, again, a guy who builds in bricks and glass and dirt and I've become such a believer. I'm really passionate about it.
So I love that you're saying that, because when you were out of the room, we talked about cryptocurrency as a means of freedom. And you're someone that said you were like the typical brick and mortar guy. It's see, feel, touch. When I go into NFTs, like, oh, I can't see the art. We're like, well, you spend more time on your phone looking at art digitally. So what's the matter? You're not staring at your wall all day long. So what was the one thing, and I'm sorry, I'm going off, I just need to ask you, what's the one thing that turned you into this believer? Because there's a lot of people listening to us now that may think that they're not of age for crypto, but that makes no sense, right? There's a lot of people that think you can't see, feel, touch, but then you said, hey, one hurricane and your shit's gone, and everything's gone. So what was the thing that made you switch?
Listen, we've got one of the biggest portfolios of properties in the world.
Yeah, but what made you?
Clearly a hard asset guy, right? I mean, I'm sitting here in a suit. These guys are sitting here in t-shirts and tattoos, right? Like we're blending two worlds so well. Don, hop in here from afar because I want your commentary.
My ex-wife's jeans.
I think that's right. There's more holes in his jeans.
Oop, might have lost sound for a second, but I think that's a good way to. Or did my thing froze? Oh, so that's me problem. Let's see. Hopefully you guys can still hear me here. Oh, it should be back up and running. There we are.
Everything that crypto stands for. So if maybe there was a technological, catch up or whatever, but short of that, everything you guys are about and represent is everything that crypto has been about since the absolute beginning.
I would have never guessed that, so many people who really have fallen into a movement of love, really because they felt like they were left behind in this country. And really not just this country, it's actually global. It's all over the world.
There we go. Okay. We can listen to that a little bit later on. If you guys want to watch it, you guys can go over to Twitter Spaces or listen to it. I just wanted to check out this little article very fast. This goes a little bit more in depth about what's happening there. This is from CoinDesk. It says, inside the Trump crypto project linked to a 2 million DeFi hack and former pickup artist. I found the former pickup artist kind of funny here, so I wanted to talk about this very fast. So Donald Trump and his sons have for weeks teased an upcoming cryptocurrency project, but they've been light on the details. Even listening tonight, I feel like it's been very, very light. From what I got, it's like you have cryptocurrency, but you can't take loans out against your cryptocurrency. In a lot of other places in the world, you can. Now, they're gonna pretty much, I think, make some type of bank or service, and you guys can go to them and say, hey, I have 10 Bitcoin. I want to use this as collateral for a loan, and then basically you can get money for your crypto, and then you could pay it back with interest, kind of like a normal bank works. That's what I've gathered so far. I've heard rumors of a white paper for the project, but I just haven't seen it yet. I'm hoping to find it in this article here. And going a little bit deeper here, let me put my music back on so I can actually listen to something. Let's go to 35. Let's go over here. Let's push play. There we go. All right. Now on top of that, we just haven't heard too much. But I wanted to read this for you guys very fast. The document and other reporting describe a borrowing and lending service strikingly similar to Do Finance, a recently hacked blockchain app built by 4 people listed as World Liberty Financial team members. Other participants include all 3 Trump sons, including the 18-year-old Barron, who is identified as the project's DeFi visionary. I hope he knows what DeFi means. Financiers and e-commerce influencers. So interesting right there. According to a person familiar with the plans, the project will also include a new cryptocurrency, WLFI. That is going to be the cryptocurrency most likely for the bank itself. A non-transferable government token, right? So that's almost like an NFT. Yeah, almost. A transfer restriction that can make the asset difficult for speculators to trade. World Liberty Financial highlights the power of blockchain in an inaccessible way, according to the white paper. Where is the fucking white paper? I don't see this fucking white. Remember, we went on the Telegram, and I didn't see the white paper on the Telegram either. Though the app isn't ready for prime time, a review of Sensilated code base, on GitHub shows that the project is at least in its early stages, appears to have lifted code directly from Do Finance, which lost $2 million in July's hack. It has not been confirmed whether later iterations of the app contain such earlier code, and there is no indication that any vulnerabilities in the Do Finance code appear in the new project's code. So, and he goes on to talk about Zach Folkman and Chase Hero. this is the thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. They seem to have some interesting positions, I guess you would say. They're interesting people. But Folkman previously registered a company called Date Hotter Girls LLC and posted seminars on YouTube on how to pick up women. So I wanted to check this out. I don't know if you guys are in crypto, but maybe you guys may have some trouble dating women. Oh wow, it's an unlisted video. They've taken it down since the story. They've taken it down, but they have the link. He should have made it private. That's how you do it. So he has a YouTube channel called 21 Studios, and it says Zach Bauer, date hotter girls better, faster, and easier. It hasn't made a video in 11 months, so it hasn't been online for a while. Make Women Great Again, the Manosphere World Summit 2023. What is a Manosphere World Summit? Relationships have consequences. Well, of course they fucking do. They're relationships. Art is dangerous. Oh yeah, this is a kooky one. But yeah, so he did that. Date Hotter Girls LLC. Interesting. See. I'm trying to just find some details. According to, where is the fucking white paper? I want to just see the white paper and I don't see it. Team behind it, disclosed. Let's see. Hero also operated a crypto trading firm called Pacer Capital, which no longer exists. Quoting crypto voters, yes. So again, even this article didn't give me too much information, right? But as far as Bitcoin's concerned, I just want to do a little bit of a recap here before we go on. Right now, Bitcoin is trying very, very hard to not have a massive engulfing candle this week. That could be, because this week is going to be so volatile, because we have the FOMC meeting where we're going to have rate cuts, there is a small chance, but still a chance, where Bitcoin could have a full engulfing candle going below 54,500 and closing down there. That'd be the ultimate worst scenario for Bitcoin this week. It doesn't look like it's going to happen as of now. Where there's too much kind of wonkiness and like speculation about if we're having 25 basis point cut to 50 basis point cut. I think the market right now is pricing in a 25 basis point cut. We'll see if they change things up here. However, weekly chart still is giving us all of these bearish signs as far as Bitcoin's concerned. You guys can see them here. Let me move this back down over there for you guys. And you guys can see overall still pretty bearish. On the daily chart here, we still have a little bit more bullish activity going for us, which means that there's still an opportunity for us to bounce above this 20-day moving average and keep on going on. You can see how there was a pretty big level of resistance back over here. And like late August, we tried to break out above it. You see that level of resistance. And then again, going back over here, we had some resistance as we tried to break above it. And when we did break above it, pop, just like over here, pop goes the dynamite, I don't know what you want to call it. However, when we do go below it, like over here, you guys will notice that we typically have some bad days. So we're really on a period of time here where you got to be very careful about how much you guys want to trade, because there is a chance that Bitcoin drops like another $1,000 to $2,000 tomorrow or through this daily candle with all the volatility going around. It doesn't mean it can't just whiplash right back. We've seen that happen plenty of times at Bitcoin. You guys can see basically, oh, where was it at? Yeah, back over here. See how we just had these massive whiplashes going back and forth for a couple weeks? It can get really wild here. And because we have the FOMC meeting coming up, that was also during those whiplashes last time, you could see Bitcoin come down really fast and spike around and come back up really quickly as well. I just want you guys to be prepared for that. The daily chart is a little bit of the hope we have. The downside to a lot of this stuff is I'm waiting to go long here, and I'm waiting to see if the 4-hour chart will turn bullish. I'm not going to go long until I see that 4-hour chart go bullish. Now, the 4-hour chart may go bullish when Bitcoin's at like 59,000, which means I might not get the best buying price like right here, this order block, but I'm okay with that personally because I just want a little bit more security here. I've basically been scalping and doing some small day trades, but to open up a trade where I want to hold a little bit longer, like 20 hours to 40 hours at this point, I'm going to give myself just a little bit more time to think it over. We've been doing some scalps here today. Both scalps ended up working out. The first one gave us $150 for holding like 5 minutes. We held for like 15 minutes. For the second one, it only netted us $50, but it was like a really small scalp that I wanted to play because I was bored of listening to the Trump talk, basically. And so, you know, that's kind of the goal here for the next 24 hours. That's what we want to play with. And then, of course, as we get closer till tomorrow, and then, of course, Wednesday when the FOMC cut is decided, you're going to see that volatility just go off the charts, which is going to be so much fun. But if you guys aren't used to those types of trades, I would just say be careful here. Be very, very careful. These levels of volatility are not for the, you know, the weak-minded here. There we go. Whose article is this? I don't trust it. It was an article on CoinDesk. Right now, it's just saying that there's some speculation around the people. You can go and verify it. You guys know I usually trust CoinDesk and, you know, some of those other crypto websites, but they're pretty much mimicking a lot of the same stuff you're seeing from CNBC and Fox Business. It's okay to go verify my stuff. I ain't gonna, you know, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you don't trust me, you bitch. No, you good. But yeah, go take a look at it. It's on CoinDesk. You can go just search up one of the guys' names and basically see. There's a whole bunch of articles there. Also, this is the Trump family. This is a Trump project. You normally are going to see the media take some more aggressive stances against it. My big thing here, as I do think from what I heard tonight, that it is going to be more of a crypto lending type service here. I would expect the SEC to try to attack this heavily. That's what I think is going to happen here. I don't know if it will succeed. I don't know any of the fundamentals about this. I know almost nothing about this project, and we didn't really hear all too much. I kept on saying, hey, you want to, like, there's gonna be some alpha. You know, I listened. I didn't really hear anything too exciting. I think what they were hyping up is the fact that this could be for everybody. So while you could have some high net worth clients in here, it seems like they're trying to go for the average Joe that maybe just has like a 100th of a Bitcoin, or maybe a couple Ethereum, or maybe even a quarter of an Ethereum. They just want to get people in there, and then maybe they can get some loans out of it. I mean, we'll see if it works. I'm not entirely optimistic at this point, just because I don't understand exactly what they're trying to do. And on top of that, Gary Gensler is like a Democrat that hates crypto, right? He is very aligned with Elizabeth Warren. I'm pretty sure Elizabeth Warren already listened to part of this tonight. She's like, oh, we're gonna shut that fucker down. So, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Man, it's gonna be a fun time here. At this point in time, Bitcoin's trying to have a little bit more of a rally though, because when they were talking at the beginning of the stream, you saw Bitcoin go down, 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 and now Bitcoin's trying to at least go back up a little bit here for a smaller move. I have one trade open right now, and it's just an Ethereum short. It's a short that I'm doing a little bit more of an aggressive play on, and I'm probably going to be swing trading this against my better judgment. So I'm just waiting to see if Ethereum does break down below that large trend line we were talking about. If it does, I'll make a good amount of money. If it doesn't, I'll lose a medium amount of money. And I think it's worth taking that risk right now, just because according to Benjamin, we still have a little bit more time to go when it comes to, can I go over to, if I just scroll down on my page, will it be Benjamin here? Let's see. There it is. Benjamin. Talking about rate cuts, Sol Maxis. Let's see. There you go. The Ethereum Bitcoin is going to go down. So like Bitcoin may go down a couple percent. Ethereum would go down a lot more basically. Or Bitcoin would shoot up and Ethereum would not shoot up as much. Seems more realistic that Bitcoin would come back down, but you get what I'm saying. So watching that closely. That's basically all he talks about, actually. Bitcoin dominance, as you can see right here. Or Elmo, altcoin season or Bitcoin dominance. He's going for the powder. But he said, yeah, there he goes. This is on the 15th. This was yesterday. He says it's almost over. I think Ethereum Bitcoin will likely bottom between 0.03 and 0.04 and then trend up in 2025. It could bottom as early as this week or as late as December. Based on prior capitulations, I think it will happen sooner rather than later. And then he goes to say, we'll make a video about it tomorrow. So he probably made a video about it actually today. And he shared a video a while ago saying he thinks it's going to collapse, and it did. This was back in June. I'm taking this to the bank. They aren't going to cash this in. So yeah, that's basically what he's been talking about for the past few days. So we'll see if it happens. I'm trusting him a little bit, and I kind of agree with him to an extent, because I think Bitcoin can go back down to the low 50s, test out support one more time, And during that process, Ethereum would just get demolished. Again, we saw Ethereum go down 40% in 3 weeks. I'm just saying it could definitely happen again with how crazy everybody's being about cryptocurrency right now. Do you think we're on the right track? Right now, we're still on the right track. We're just in a bearish rut here. Like if you were to zoom out a little bit more, right? We have this downtrend. We're waiting for a breakout. I'm not bullish until the MACD turns bullish here. Typically, when I look at some of these moves, do I have this on here? Yeah, here's a naked Bitcoin chart with like no other crazy technicals and stuff. There's Bitcoin, here's a MACD, here's a stochastic, and here's RSI. When all of those get bullish, I'm typically happy to buy. And the last time they all got bullish around the same time happened to be way back over here. Squeeze this over. There you go. Was right over here. And you saw the move that happened afterwards. It was a pretty good move. We had some consolidation, sure, that worked out very well. The MACD stayed green the entire time until it didn't, which was way over here. Is that the right time? Yep, perfect. Okay. To right over here. Once we hit over to here, we've been going down ever since. I'm basically just waiting. And sure, there's other technicals, you saw the trend lines, the support levels and stuff, but just from a pure momentum position, I'm just waiting. And you notice that when I bought last time over here, I didn't get the bottom down here. I bought like up here. So I'm like buying at $29,700 when I could have bought it like $26,000. But I was just being patient and waiting. Of course, I dollar cost average through this so I can sell up here as well. So I've been dollar cost averaging over here as well. But if you really just want to like see me get excited and be like, oh my God, Bitcoin's going to the moon, whatever, I still got to see that green MACD. But that's how I trade. I love to trade when the momentum is strong with me, especially when you're going through that monthly cycle as well. So here's the monthly chart. You see how the monthly chart turned bullish way back over here in July? You see how you could have bought back over here in December for like 17,019. If you go over here, you technically are buying at 29. You can dollar cost average and have a nice average. But when it comes to trading and stuff like that, you want to do a lot of swing trades. You want to do a lot of day trading. You just want to go gung-ho and trade a lot every single day for like weeks and weeks and weeks. I typically wait for everything to align. And then I know confidently, oh, I'm going to be doing long, long, long. There might be some news. There may be some drops because you popped up so much. The market has to do a little bit of a reset. Completely understand it. But I like to do that. And right now, the daily chart is a little bit more bullish right now. You can see that as far as the MACDs. The last few times we've had the MACD cross over here. I'll just draw a little circle. Right here, went up. This time, went up. Over here, went up. Over here. I'd say this is a failure. Let's call that a failure. This one over here, went up. This one over here. You can call this a failure because even though we didn't break down below the support level, I'd still call it a failure because it didn't have that large move. And of course, over here, we were in the process of going up, or you might even just say that upwards. You might have missed that initial move. You can see how the majority of the times here, it's been giving us some good times. It just we have to realize that we have these lower highs working against us. And every time we try to get too close to this lower high, we just get fucking slammed. And the latest one here was this one right here. Right? I thought we might have a chance to break. I even went long here. I didn't lose money on the trade, but I didn't make any real money off the trade. So the capital was locked up, which is a loss to me. But you can see right here, thought we could have broken out. We did not. We got slammed back down. And all of a sudden, we're waiting again for like a nice little signal here. And that's why I'm telling you, I'm looking for the 4-hour chart right now. If that 4-hour chart gives me a little bit of a buy signal, I'll take a chance to buy Bitcoin and see if it can go back up here. And then I'll either sell up here if it gets rejected again, or if it breaks out, I'll probably sell it like 20% off and let the rest run. Maybe even 50% off to let the rest run. Because this week it's just going to be more volatile because the FOMC, we're either going to have a 25 basis point cut. I think that's what everybody thinks we're going to have. And of course, we have the 50 basis point cut that could be coming along as well here. So that's kind of the gist. I'm a big momentum guy. All of my strategies are really based around momentum. But the 4-hour chart, we're still bearish here. and you tie that in with the 20-day moving average I was talking about like maybe 5 minutes ago, and that's what I'm concerned about, that we drop back down. So far we're holding. We're doing an okay job here holding. Typically when we start seeing everything kind of turn bearish here, we do make that move, but we've already pretty much had a big move, right? See, MACD bearish, bearish, bearish. We've already made the move. Hopefully we can stabilize at this point and start going back up. Hopefully, I say hopefully. Last time everything was bearish was back over here as well. That didn't really do much bad for us. You can see kind of just kept on up, but the daily chart was bullish at that point, so the daily chart overrides the 4-hour chart. And then the last time over here, which one was this? There you go, that was also bearish. This one, interestingly, we kind of like bounced around for a little bit, so this one didn't work out too well. But again, the daily chart was bearish, so you kind of go with the higher moving average up until a point. You can still do your technical analysis and stuff like that. What I'm also looking at here is that if I can, oh, there it is. Get rid of this here. There you go. From a simple perspective here, very simple technical analysis perspective. We kind of just broke down a while ago too, you know, so we might be bearish for a little bit longer, but you know, I'm just waiting. I mean, you saw me take a couple scalps during the stream today. That's not really large trades though. I'd rather be making large trades, but you got to make money where you find it. And right now, I'm not even being aggressive. Well, maybe I'm a little bit more aggressive. You see a little bit of a double top happening right here. You're probably going to see shorts come back in. We literally just did a trade where we bought over here. Bitcoin went down, up, down, and I finally was able to sell it right here. So it was like A to B. I mean, that's literally all the move we saw, and the move was like 0.15%. Now it did go up a little bit higher after I sold, but I mean, now look at it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad I got out when I did. But that's because that 4-hour chart is still bearish. So that short-term time frame is still going to be pulling me back down, especially if I'm a scalper. I got to respect some of those 4-hour charts more than the daily ones. If I'm holding for a longer period of time, I can respect the daily one though. Back this up. Yeah, but the only real trade I would say I have right now is this Ethereum trade. And you can see it's basically down 0.74%. 20x leverage. It's basically not moved at all. So give it some time, let it cook. I'll be waiting, I'll be watching. You know, that's kind of it. What if no cut? Oh, if there's no cut, the market's crashing. Bitcoin to 50,000 bucks by the end of the week, guaranteed. We better have a rate cut. We better have a rate cut. I swear, if we don't have a rate cut, I will scream. I will become a big old baby live on the stream, and I'll be like, wham, wham, fucking wham. That's just not what I want to deal with. Oh, this 2-hour chart looks not so good. Oh, we'll come back to that a little bit later. Here's the 5-minute chart. I think this is a pretty steady chart to look at here. He has screwed everyone he's done business with. No thanks. I know ads hitting hard. What if no cut, Mike? Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, at this point, guys, it's when it comes to Trump, I'm not hopping into that. I see on the horizontal stream, 68% of you guys say no. On the vertical stream, 54% say yes. So a little bit more leaning into the no direction, I'm sure. But it's up to you guys if you guys want to go into it. For me personally, I might, if it's on an exchange and I have the ability to day trade it, I'd be happy to day trade it. I'd be happy. But if you're asking me if I want to do a long-term type of investment with this thing, answer is going to be no. I just don't see the value in it right now. And the fact that they didn't really tell me much, you know, that tells me a lot. They told me a lot by not telling me much. So I'm hoping they can try to give out more details there, because I'd love to share them with you guys. I know a lot of people that are interested in the project, but they at least want to know what they're getting into before they start allocating actual money to it, you know? And that's called being responsible. And again, you know, like, World Liberty Finance. Right? We can look at a Bloomberg article if it's not gonna like gate me out. I'm not fucking subscribing to Bloomberg. CBS News. First year student, CoinDesk. I swear, everybody's just getting all the crypto news from CoinDesk and just regurgitating it. Ah, white paper. White paper. I see a white paper. God damn it, it's still not the white paper. All I want to see is the white paper for this project. Let me do one thing here. Maybe I've made a mistake. Maybe I made a mistake here, and let me see what I can do here. Hold on. Benjamin Cohen. Let's go over here to World Financial. Let's go over here. Let me open this up very fast and go to Open in Web. I'm logged in. That's fine. Okay. Here is the official World Liberty Financial Telegram group. Okay. Let's scroll up very fast and just kind of see if we can see a white paper in here. Welcome to the Defiant Ones, the only official Telegram channel for the Trump DeFi project. We're thrilled to have you. Okay. We'll be sharing important updates right here in this channel. Okay, there's an announcement from Donald Trump. Yes, that Donald Trump did not write this. This is not his style of writing. New DeFi platform will cut out the corrupt, expensive, and inefficient middleman. No more bureaucrats. Some scammers out there, be careful. We're gearing up for a major announcement, exciting updates. Stay connected by following us on the Twitter account. Go check out our latest post on X and let us know your thoughts. Important security notice. There was some scams going on with it. Big news from Donald Trump. He just tweeted about it. Security notice. There's a fake ad type thing again. World Liberty Financial meme contest. 100,000 members. That's an achievement. Happy Labor Day from Liberty Financial. Laura and Tiffany X's accounts have been hacked. Do not click on any links. Rumors are flying, but here's the real story about Liberty Financial. Top security experts. Let's be clear, we're not another hostile fork or Aave. History shows those don't work. Oh, let's see. Stable coins. Our plan will speak for itself. Give us the fucking plan. It's been a wild 24 hours. Okay, we're obviously floored by the incredible support. Something special. We're doing something special here. We're thrilled to have Crypto Ogle on our team. Cybersecurity guy. September 16th, that's tonight. We had the live with Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump. We're proud to welcome Sandy Peng as our latest advisor, co-founder of Scroll, one of the largest L2 for scaling Ethereum. Okay. Despite the unsettled events of yesterday, our X Spaces of Donald Trump will proceed. You know, I just don't see any information. And again, I'm even looking for a website here, you know what I mean? Like, I see links, bio copied it. No, I just want to see a link here. And if you go to their X page again, you're still not going to get a link here. And that's my big concern. I just want to see a website. There is a website out there if you search for it, but it looks really bad and scammy. So I think it's a scam website, but I just can't tell because they don't have an actual website on their Telegram. So yeah, it's interesting. They're still talking here. My God, they must be talking up a storm here. I wish they had some video of this. I don't know who this guy is though. Have any of you guys heard of Farquad? I don't know his name. Crypto, Twitter. Oh no, I can just actually, can I just click on his name? There you go. Co-founder and president at Myriad Markets and Rug Radio. Own the narrative powered by Myriad Markets. This account and Rug Radio team members will never deem any links. So, predict markets that empower your insights and turn foresight into value. Ready to stake your reputation. Let me see. I'm not playing that video. Register for the Myriad closed beta. I can actually play the video. That's fine. There's no audio with it. I have the audio turned off. Engage with content and predict the future. Oh my God, I'm gonna be a genius. Evolve the way we see data. Oh, it's a plugin. Is it a plugin for YouTube and stuff? Interesting. I kind of like that idea as long as YouTube's on board with it, to be honest. You know, you guys have little polls and stuff underneath my videos. Break the news, stake the news, make the news. Engage to earn. Go to app. Oh, I'm not gonna give her my cookies just yet. But yeah, so that's one thing here. I don't know if any of you guys have heard Rug Radio. Let me go to the link tree here. Welcome to Myriad. Work with us. Visit the website. Join our Discord. 4 more hour podcast. 4 more hour video. Work with us. Do they have a LinkedIn? Oh, partnership. Oh, that's just basically for advertising. I don't need to advertise with them. Oh, they have a YouTube channel though. YouTube channel has 4,000 subscribers. It's getting about 83 views. They haven't posted. Oh, they posted 4 days ago. Welcome to Myriad, and they haven't posted since 3 months ago. So they really haven't been able to do much on here. But because it's more of a podcast, perhaps they have it on, you know, like Apple Music or, you know, Apple Podcasts, you know, that type of stuff is where they get their views. They have live streams, and the live streams get a little more views, like 300 to 400 views. You know, that's okay. And they might even have this with, you know, on Twitter and stuff. So maybe they get a decent amount of views across all platforms, which is pretty standard. A lot of people like to, you know, diversify these days. And they also have a Discord. So, you know, it's okay. I just don't know who that guy is. I haven't really heard of him before. Maybe some of you guys know him. And as far as everybody else from this event, I don't know too much about him. Just don't want to do that too much. There we go. Let's see. I don't know when they're going to launch, though. That's kind of another question there. When are they going to launch? Lord Farquaad? I don't know the guy's name, man. I like Lord Farquaad. He's fucking hilarious. Has the token launched yet? No launch yet. And hey, DK Wilson, happy to see you, my man. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully work wasn't too bad if you're showing up late. A little overtime in there. Most likely we see the white paper next year. I mean, man, that's taken a long time. I mean, they should get the white paper out there fast. But when I was reading the articles, they said the white paper had been released. That's what I was reading when we were listening to the speakers, you know? I just can't find it. Let me do this. World Liberty. Okay, World Liberty. Finance. White. I'm about to turn to ChatGPT. Give me the fucking white paper, ChatGPT. Decrypt. Maybe Decrypt has it. Where the fuck is it? Why is it like that? Why is the story like that? Is this only meant for the phone or something? That is wild. Okay, well, let's not look at it there. Oh, here, brave new coin. World Liberty Financial White Paper leaks. Oh, it leaked. All right. Let's see. Where is the leak? Let's see. A draft white paper obtained by Coinbase has cast out. Okay. So there's an article about the leak, but we don't have the white paper itself. Let's see. Report Tuesday. Okay. Okay. Oh, they can't be transferred. Oh, we talked about that. So it'll be non-transferable and locked indefinitely in a wallet or smart contract until such a time, if ever, WFLL will be unlocked through a protocol governance. Maybe that's because maybe they're trying to make a stable coin, so they're just looking for liquidity that cannot be taken out. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when like Luna, Terra, that type of stuff went crashing down. Maybe that's what they're trying to do, just get some funding for that, so they can do stable coins. Because stable coins are very hard to maintain if you don't know what you're doing. And I would guess that they don't know what they're doing just yet. Each purchaser of WLFI will be screened to ensure that no specially designed nationals or other persons sanctioned by FinCEN are permitted to purchase WFLI. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. So probably we're not buying it. Let's see. Yeah, I just don't see anything with the token. So I guess we're not even going to buy the token, to be honest. I don't know what the heck this is going to do, but it feels like it's going to be an app, right? So it says a whopping 70% of Trump-backed World Liberty Financial tokens will be reserved for the project's insiders, according to the white paper draft obtained by Coinbase. Of the remaining 30% of the tokens, they're going to be distributed via a public sale. The founding team will also receive a portion of the proceeds. When asked if a 70% allocation to insiders is high, one source who advises projects on such matters replied, "LML, nice joke, sir." So yeah, a little funny business going on right now. Checking out a friend's pod. Oh, interesting. Taking a break from chart checking. It's okay. The chart was interesting for a while tonight, but then it's bouncing back. You saw that big O dump. This was during Trump's talk, basically. 5% max vote on any holder, not a token to invest in. Yeah, this is not a token to be investing in. So what you're probably going to see is fake tokens popping up, and it's just going to be related to Trump at this point. I believe, let's go over here to Sun Pump. I'm sure there might be a Tron meme about it right now. So let's go over here. Let's go to, Sun Duck. Let's see. Ranking. Sundog, Tron Bull, Muncat still there. Invest Zone still falling. Invest Zone might be dead. Muncat, yeah, so I don't see anything new here really. Oh, there's another Tron Bull that's been coming out of nowhere actually. Tron T-Bull, and there's just Bull. So they might try to flip it here. And then launching soon, it looks like we have Silk Road 3.0, Tron Burgundy, Marathon, Munbull, a lot more meme coins here. And since Binance is going to be launching more meme coins here eventually, this does open up a little bit more of a potential golden age here. Oh, I want to scalp Bitcoin again. That might have one last little pop, but that's too small of a scalp for me to take. Funny enough, since I did the last scalp. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it broke that resistance here. It's still kind of up there. Yeah, it might take a few more minutes. Go back to the 5 here. It's going to be a Visa-like card for point-to-point with crypto. Oh, people aren't going to be really excited about something like that, though. You know what I mean? I'd be really careful about any site selling their token. I don't think the token is for sale yet. No, Delilah, the token isn't for sale yet. No. There is a website that does it, but I think it's a scam. It's a very bad-looking website. I think if you actually search for World Liberty Finance online, I think the website actually ranks. Yeah, there it is. worldlibertyfinance.org, and you can see how bad of a website this is. Powering, you'll see Trump kind of slide in here, but you kind of just scroll down. There's not really much here. It's a very, very basic website, and if you click on any of the links, like homepage, it takes you back to the homepage, right? Movement takes you back to the homepage. How to buy takes you back to the homepage. So none of the links are even fleshed out yet, so I'm not trusting it all too much here. Listen to the last 15 minutes of the X Space. He made a succinct explanation. Oh, there you go. That's kind of nice. Yeah, we've been waiting for an explanation for quite a bit of time, and it just never freaking came out, Woody. He said that it's no official publication yet. All right, that's good then. That's good to see. We'll learn more when it comes to it, but yeah, it's been kind of icky, boring at this point. They just need to give out more information. How's Tron looking right now? If this is looking good, look at Tron. Tron's looking absolutely beautiful right now. Look at that. People made fun of me when I bought Tron last year, but now Tron's doing fantastic. It's at all-time highs though for the most part, so it's kind of risky to buy at this point if you ask me, but I'm still holding my position. It really had a big month last month. But again, I guess when I bought Tron, it wasn't really because of all there was like a lot of like Tron news that goes around. I just like being able to transfer tokens for $1. So I was like, you know what, this thing is pretty easy to use. It's cheap. People will probably end up using it. And lo and behold, they've been dinging a lot of freaking money from those trading fees. Again, I wish every exchange, like I wish Coinbase had Tron built in, because every time I take money out of my exchange, you guys know you can be paying anywhere as little as $4 to as much as $20 for a withdrawal on an exchange these days. And that's with ERC, Ethereum. But if you do Tron, it's always $1. It's always $1. And I absolutely love that it's $1. It makes my life so happy. There's so much more meaning to my life when I don't have to pay money for the fees. He just talked about how it was planned out and how a lot of reports are talking out there, but okay, so I mean, yeah, the media is going crazy with the story as far as like online articles. I don't think they're really talking about it too much on TV. If you go and search for this, let me just go back over here very fast. Get rid of some of these extra tabs. World Liberty Finance. All right, you go over to news and you're going to see that it says Trump crypto project World Liberty Finance provides few details so far. Donald Trump rolls out his new cryptocurrency business. Trump plans to announce, his thing. Where is World Liberty Financial? Barron Trump at 18 takes the lead as DeFi visionary. What bankers need to know about Trump's World Liberty Finance? That's from the American Banker, right? And then there's a whole bunch of articles about it. Even Yahoo Finance has an article about it. So they're talking and talking and talking, and that's what they're gonna do. Keep on talking. Let me go back over here very fast. Yeah, that's fine for now. I really just want to see some market, find some more tokens. I also need to I need to launch a token. I need to figure out optional. Be the first person to buy my token. I'd love to make a token, not buy into it, let it ride to $1 billion and be like, yeah, I made that sucker. But I'd be pissed off that I didn't buy any of the token. There we go. All right. Let's see. Anything else here? That anymore? Let me do one last little check here at CNBC. NASDAQ is down just a tad, but only 0.06%. There's not really much news right now. I'm looking at news. Amazon tells employees to return to the office. Intel jumps off of a deal. I think it was Amazon. Biden administration awards Intel up to $3 billion under the CHIPS Act. Oh my God, $3 billion. We're just freaking printing money these days. Trump's crypto project provides few details so far. Boeing freezes hiring, yes. The Bank of Japan's next rate hike may come in December, not this week. Oh, hopefully they have, hopefully it comes in December. Meta bans RT days after accusations rushed an outlet of disinformation. Let's see. Charter rolls out new spectrum pricing, internet speeds. Let's see. Anything else here? Nah, not much else. Okay. You can definitely help with the launch. What do you call it? I might make a token eventually. I don't want to make a token and chill it, if that makes sense. I'd rather just be part of somebody else's project. Be like, hey man, I own like $1,000 with this token. We're going to talk about the journey to see what happens with it. Because more likely than not, it's going to go to zero. You know what I mean? So I'd rather just risk my own money instead of like using you guys as like what normally happens in the meme coin space, like X liquidity and stuff. I just like hold it and watch it, and then I'm hoping it might go up during an altcoin season. But I'll find a token to invest in. I got friends that have tokens and stuff like that. But I haven't talked about them yet because there's like an ethical thing that's going through my mind. Like, should I talk about them? Should I not? Because I kind of feel like I want to talk about them, but I don't actually own any of the token. I think that's why I'm okay with talking about them, because I don't own any of them. But the risk is always so high when you get with those tokens. You have to think about it more as gambling. I don't confess to have understood everything, but I believe they think it will revolutionize access to crypto for... I can't read that. Let me see. This damn emoji thing blocks everything. For the new. Right now, so what they were talking about earlier in this space, from like the hour we listened to it, they want people to, if you have Bitcoin or you have Ethereum, and you want to take out a loan against that asset, if you go to the bank, I think it was like Eric Trump said, they're going to laugh at you, because you don't have the ability to do that. Like, why would you ever do that? Their new system will allow you to get a loan against your crypto, which will be pretty interesting. I like the concept. I really do. My issue is the SEC is going to come after that, because there have been exchanges and other people that have been trying to do that for a while, and they usually run into some type of roadblock, especially if they're well known. You can see a lot of different things that are underneath the radar stick around for a while. You guys know that I've worked with a lot of exchanges over the years. And you guys know that one of the exchanges that sponsored me a couple of years ago, back in 2020, 2021, was BitGate. BitGate was very small back then, very, very small back then. And they were the size of like Weeks or Blowfin or JumpX. But now that they've gotten so big, what happened? The government kind of kicked them out. They said they need the KYC and all other type of stuff. If you stay underneath the radar for a while, you can keep your exchange, you can keep everything going, everything's kind of fine. But the moment you get so big, the government just hammers you down because we don't have regulation. And so the only way you can get loans against your Bitcoin and your cryptocurrency right now is you have to go to something more of a private bank, something more low key, not as well known, you know? And so I think it happens quite a bit in America, but it's not like a project like this. And I'm curious to see how they're going to make it work in the long term. So I'm just going to be monitoring it. I'll let you guys know all the updates and stuff like that. I'm hoping the SEC doesn't come down on them. But again, it's Gary Gensler. You know, like enough said, right? The right marketing is not paid shills. Oh, let me see. I can't read you guys' messages. The right marketing, not paid shills. Oh, yeah. Well, you can use it to airdrop to viewers and whatnot, but you'd have to kind of control supplies. So no whales can dump it until pump until you throw a decent volume bot and pay for some marketing. Yeah, see, I ain't doing all that type of shit. That's why I said I'll have somebody else do the project for me. Let's see. But then see, I have to really trust that person, wouldn't I? But that's for another day. Okay, everybody, I'm going to end the stream right now. We've been talking for, oh my God, 3.5 hours. This was a freaking long stream today, guys. I appreciate you guys chilling with me. You see Bitcoin trying to come back up and still consolidate a little bit more. I think it's important. Just look at the 4-hour chart. We're going to try and hold this level tonight. I'm hoping that we do. That way I can try to buy up some tomorrow morning. That way we can have a pop bet, maybe back up here towards $60,000, $59,000. But until I see that momentum kind of switch back over on the 4-hour chart, I'm just going to be a little bit more patient here. I've already done some scalps. I've done some good trades this week. I don't feel like I need to endanger that by doing anything too crazy. The only thing I have going for me right now is an Ethereum short, which I'm going to try to hold for maybe about a week, and then I'll see what happens next. It is going to be a very volatile trade though, so be careful if you're going to do anything similar, any type of shorts, any type of longs, because on Wednesday we have the FOMC meeting, and it's just going to be an absolute like clusterfuck of volatility. Okay, so see you guys a little bit later. Thanks for watching the stream for 3.5 hours with me. I really do appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a short 1-hour stream because we're going to be streaming for a long time for the FOMC meeting. The FOMC meeting on Wednesday will start about 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll be talking for like 3-4 hours before